make them, but Doc Rivers talked about he loved the shots that they were able to get.
Tatum from the far side corner. He's guarded there by Tucker. Zips it up top for Brown with the mask on. Tries to get by Tobias Harris. Can't do it. Free throw line fadeaway wide to the left. Not a great looking shot.
A great defensive stance by Tobias Harris on that possession.
Maxey high right wing. Back to Harden near midcourt. He diagnoses the defense. Takes a dribble to his left off an Embiid screen. Gets to the left block. Kicks out for Tucker in the corner. Floats up top Embiid. Working on Horford. Chest pass to Harden in the left corner. Inside for Tucker, who floats it in over top of Marcus Smart. And he's got a few inches on him. It's now 15-10 Philadelphia.
Yeah, rare paint points for P.J. Tucker. He normally does the majority of his damage from beyond the three-point arc.
Tatum, top of the key, through his right off a Williams screen. Puts it up to the bucket. It rolls. This year. He blows by Al Horford and lays it in.
Now that goes to the commentary from Joel Embiid regarding the last 3:56 of the game. Do that if you haven't got the basketball.
Give me the ball. Jason Tatum gets past the defense. Layup right side there. Philadelphia 21, Boston 18, 2.5 in the opening quarter.
Commentary from Joel Embiid regarding the last 3:56 of the game. Do that if you haven't got the basketball.
Give me the ball. Jason Tatum gets past the defense. Layup right side there. Philadelphia 21, Boston 18, 2.5 in the opening quarter. Maxey from the left wing. Lobs it to the left block. Harris backs his way in on Brogdon. Leaps. Passes to the top of the key. Embiid, one dribble, three-pointer. Wide to the left. Long rebound to the right for Tatum in the corner. Here come the Celtics, down by 3. Brogdon, top of the key, drives left, kick to the corner. Tatum with the drive to the basket, rejected by Joel Embiid, who was waiting there and saw it coming from a mile away as it goes out of bounds baseline.
And that's where that basketball has to be swung to the perimeter to allow Al Horford to knock down that three. That's the only way you're going to be able to get Embiid out of the painted area. We talked about him patrolling the paint. Does a great job defensively on that possession.
Embiid looked like he was blocking a toddler's shot in the driveway instead of a potential MVP candidate. Brown on the move. He's stripped away by P.J. Tucker. It rolls out of bounds baseline to the right. So the Celtics keep it. 5 on the shot clock. 1:59 to go in the first. And the Sixers up by 3 over the Celtics, 21-18.
NBA officials have to have the patience of Job. I just can't imagine someone talking to me like that.
Inbound for Brogdon, top of the key. White drives. It's tipped and out of bounds and off of the Celtics. They give it back to Philadelphia, 1:54 to go. It is Mother's Day. You could have said the patience of a mother.
Yeah, or Job. Mom or Job, either one of them. Both, of course, exhibit great patience.
Moms and Joe, both saintly characters in our lives. Minute 45 to go. Maxey on the move. Throws it up after he got hit, but banged it off the front rim. So Maxey on the move, and he's going to the free throw line with the foul on the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, his first and the team's first. As he goes to the line, we now pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. A full house at TD Garden in Boston today. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Mike Cousins, former NBA guard Corey Alexander with you. And Tyrese Maxey at the free throw line for Philadelphia. Hits both free throws after a Jaylen Brown foul. It's the Sixers 23 and the Celtics 18 with 95 seconds to play in the first quarter here on the Celtics home floor. Jason Tatum leading the Celtics with 9. Here's Jaylen Brown dribbling from the right corner to the basket, rejected at the rim. A multitude of Philadelphia defenders there. Maxey comes up with it, gives to Embiid at the left wing, drives, shoots, he scores and one. Al Horford with the foul, and Joel Embiid here is taking over the last couple of possessions for Philadelphia at the left end.
Doc Rivers and I were teammates in San Antonio 27 years ago, and he's moving more on the sidelines and more active now than he was then. He is all over the place at half court, dapping up Tyrese Maxey. He's in his defensive stance. He's actually dribbling an imaginary basketball. He's doing it all on the sidelines right now. You can see how locked in he is, and it's showing in his team here in this first quarter.
Embiid now has 5. Most on Philadelphia is P.J. Tucker with 8. There's a foul before Jason Tatum went to the basket and started his gather. Scott Foster, the crew chief, makes the call from the far sideline. Six, 26-20.
But Al Horford standing at the top of the key, not allowing Joel Embiid to come down and affect that shot.
There's a battle for it at the top of the key right now. Embiid has it, turns to face on Horford. Takes a couple of dribbles to the free throw line, wants to back his way in. Horford won't let him. Embiid turns around, air balls on the fadeaway. It's tipped out of bounds. Last touch of the Celtics. It stays with Philadelphia at the left end. 4 seconds on the shot clock after the Embiid air ball.
But a great job by P.J. Tucker keeping that basketball alive and, of course, forcing it off the Boston Celtics to remain possession.
Philly by 6. Melton inbounding baseline to our left. He goes to the right side corner. P.J. Tucker, a 3 is good. They have not had the answer for him here in the first quarter. He's 3 of 4 from 3. He's tied for the game high with 11, and the Sixers have their largest lead of the opening quarter at 29-20.
And P.J. Tucker making the shots that he was unable to make in Game 6, especially in the fourth quarter, when the Boston Celtics were leaving him to keep the basketball out of Joel Embiid's hands. It'll be interesting to see if he can do that for 4 quarters of this game.
He had just 8 points on Thursday in Game 6, already 11 here this afternoon. Tatum from the top of the key, surges down the left side of the lane, kicks to the right side corner. Horford with a triple, and he responds in kind. His first points of the day, 30 seconds to go in the first. Sixers up 29-23 with the ball in the left end.
And that's Al Horford's first 3-point field goal made in the past 3 games, so it has to feel great for him to see one go down.
Maxey between the circles on the high ball screen left from Embiid. Gives to the left side corner. Tucker another 3, no good. Brown with the right hand tip. Gives it to Horford. Celtics have 8 seconds to come up the floor and get a shot. Now 5 seconds. Brogdon, top of the key, dribbles in. Step back long 2, wide right, no good. Tipped up to the Sixers, and Melton heaves it down floor. It's an air ball, and the first quarter is over. Philadelphia 29 and Boston 23.
And P.J. Tucker has been a spark. We talked about Game 7 experience for the Celtics. The Sixers have their own share of it, and it showed up here in this first quarter.
At the end of the first, it's Philadelphia by 6, 29-23, and Game 7. And this is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
We think your music should play nonstop. Ironically, we're stopping it to tell you that Southwest has the most nonstop flights in California. We also think changing your travel plans should be as easy as changing songs. That's why we don't charge you change or cancel fees. When you're ready to go with heart. Book now at southwest.com. Based on total number of DOT published nonstop flights to and from California from the period from 2/1/2023 to 8/14/2023 compared to all other airlines as of 1/20/2023. No change fees, but fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited travel funds.
It's Macy's Mother's Day sale. Take an extra 25% off great gifts for every mom with your coupon or Macy's card. Like dresses, shoes, and more she'll love, 25 to 40% off. Or shop specials like 55 to 65% off robes, towels, and more bath accessories. And fragrance gift sets from her favorite brands like Carolina Herrera, Estee Lauder, and more. Want more deals? Download the free Macy's app by saying, Alexa, open Macy's now. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JVC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Kevin Wood, your Insider Granger Studio. Our player resume brought to you by Indeed. Attract interview at hire at Indeed.com/credit. Think about P.J. Tucker for the Philadelphia 76ers. Second-round draft pick out of Texas back in 2006 by the Raptors. Back in Boston with Corey Alexander. Here's Mike Cousins. Kevin, thank you so much. P.J. Tucker, 11 points, 3 of 4 from 3. Now the 11 points, the second most all season for him. His season high is 13, and Corey's got to keep playing that way, given the way the Celtics are defending.
He absolutely does, but this is reminiscent of a performance we saw last season in a Game 7 here on this floor where Grant Williams went off for the Boston Celtics, knocking down 3 after 3, I believe 7 threes in total for Grant Williams. So P.J. Tucker taking on that role, but is not cheered for the same here in this building as it was last year.
29-23 Philadelphia. They've got the ball at the left end. It's Harden navigating his way into the paint on the dribble. He falls to the ground, passes out near midcourt. Tobias Harris is called for a backcourt violation. He immediately pleads to Bill Kennedy, the official, to say that was tipped. It should have been anybody's ball, not a violation against us. Doc Rivers coming out to make the case as well to Eric Lewis, one of the triumvirate of officials, and they're giving him the Heisman for the moment to say, hang on.
But that basketball was dribbled, and so Scott Foster actually had it right. Eric Lewis coming over, and I believe they got that one wrong because Tobias Harris took a dribble in the front court and then took the basketball into the back court.
Yes, he controlled it in the front court.
Yes, that they got that one wrong, but the difference was Scott Foster came over to Eric Lewis and changed the call. Eric Lewis had it right at the beginning.
73 combined seasons of officiating on this crew today. And on the inbound, James Harden, a 3-2 long. Sixers still lead by 6. Boston into the front court right. Jaylen Brown hoists a 3, splashes it down. And Brown gets the Celtics to within 3, 29-26.
Fortunately for the Celtics, that missed call doesn't mean anything, and it ends up being a good look for Jaylen Brown on the other end.
George Niang at the right side, free throw line extended. Gives it off. Shot wide right from Tobias Harris. And now a whistle on the shot. And the foul goes against Boston. Foul is on Malcolm Brogdon, his first. And the first against Boston here, just 49 seconds into the second quarter. Tobias Harris to the free throw line where he shot 88% this year.
And this may be as aggressive as we've seen Tobias Harris, especially in this series. He's had a lot to do with the defensive struggles. Well, I'm sorry, defending Jason Tatum, who's had some offensive struggles in this series. But offensively, Tobias Harris has been extremely aggressive here in this first half.
Harris hits the first, and his second left-hand free throw is good, 31-26. Philadelphia, Tobias Harris with 6. He's their second leading scorer. P.J. Tucker, 11. And Jason Tatum for Boston also with 11. Marcus Smart between the circles. Dishes left. Jaylen Brown, who has shed the mask that he wore in warm-ups and in the first quarter. The high right wing, step back 3 over Paul Reed. Halfway down and out, Robert Williams, offensive board left block. Couldn't corral it. Tobias Harris running right to left. It was 1-on-3. Shovels back now to Yang. Left wing, transition 3. And that was also halfway down the cylinder before popping out like a pinball. Quick pace here. Brogdon top of the key at the right end for the Celtics, who trail 31-26. Floats it right for Brown, looking to go to work on Niang. Dribbled it off his shoe to the near sideline. Niang dives for it, and it was out of bounds. And last touch by Boston. Jaylen Brown is saying, hey, come have a look at that. I wasn't the last one to touch it. And it did appear, Corey, as though Eric Lewis, the official who blew the whistle, had started looking the other way before he blew the whistle.
But if Jordan Niang did not hit the basketball, why would he dive on the floor after? It actually does go off of Jaylen Brown's foot. But Jordan Niang dives for the basketball thinking that it's off of him.
Well, worth the effort, I suppose. Harden, fadeaway Jay, right side of the lane, way too long. Tipped out by Williams, but Philly corrals it. No fresh shot clock, though. 5 to shoot. Harden, right block, fadeaway, no good. And he's fouled by Derek White. Number 1 on the 6th-year guard out of Colorado. Second against the Celtics here in the quarter. 10:09 to go before the half. Philadelphia up 31-26.
And Joe Mazzulla upset onto the floor, calling a timeout. And I believe he's going to challenge that.
The timeout's been called. The challenge to Williams on the floor.
And the ESPN app presented by Indeed.
Find your perfect mattress match only at Mancini Sleep World during the free event. With purchase of select mattresses, get a free adjustable base, free pillows, and interest-free financing for 3 years. With our perfect match guarantee and over 8,000 five-star reviews, Northern California agrees that Mancini Sleep World has the largest mattress selection at the best price. Hurry into Mancini Sleep World or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
We think your music should play nonstop. Ironically, we're stopping it to tell you that Southwest has the most nonstop flights in California. We also think changing your travel plans should be as easy as changing songs. That's why we don't charge you change or cancel fees. When you're ready to go with heart. Book now at southwest.com. Based on total number of DOT published nonstop flights to and from California from the period from 2/1/2023 to 8/14/2023 compared to all other airlines as of 1/20/2023. No change fees, but fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited travel funds.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of double-stacked JDC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Kevin Ochocinco inside our Granger studio. Reminder, coming up Tuesday night, we begin our coverage exclusively on ESPN Radio. The NBA's conference finals will be in the West, will be in Denver. Nuggets and Lakers. We also start our coverage at 8 p.m. Eastern with coverage of the NBA's draft lottery. Here in Boston in Game 7, Philadelphia's got a 31-26 lead, 10:09 to go. My cousin's Corey Alexander, not sure if you guys can see it, saw it on TV. Joe Mazzulla absolutely lit his team up in the huddle. Back to you guys.
And what we thought was a challenge by Mazzulla was just a regular timeout. Corey Alexander to break down the things that were unspoken in those moments.
So what was unspoken was Joe Mazzulla was heated with the officiating and his team, so he walks out onto the court to call a timeout. Then Scott Foster comes over thinking that it should be challenged, but Joe Mazzulla does not want to use his challenge that early. Also, Doc Rivers was in the ear of Scott Foster, letting him know he did not call that timeout to challenge. Doc Rivers wanted a technical foul on Joe Mazzulla for walking onto the court the way that he did. Scott Foster immediately goes over to Joe Mazzulla, who is by that time giving Eric Lewis a earful.
One of the other officials.
And asked him, do you want to challenge? And, of course, Joe Mazzulla says, no, I do not want to use my challenge right now. So it was just a timeout. A lot to do about nothing. However, there was a lot of vocal communication.
Displeasure.
Yeah, exactly. I like vocal displeasure much more so from Joe Mazzulla during that timeout.
And from the fans toward the officials. The foul was on Derek White of Boston. James Harden just hit both free throws at the left side. So it's Philly 33, Boston 26. Marcus Smart rises up to shoot. He's turned away. Here comes Philadelphia, right to left. And DeAnthony Melton is stopped at the basket. The shot tipped out of bounds. White and Brown there in defensive coverage. 19 on the shot clock for Philadelphia. 9:51 to go before the end of the half. 33-26, Philadelphia in the lead. Melton inbounding left to the basket from the baseline. Finds Reed outside his scoring range. Left side free throw line extended. Gets it back, curls to the basket, and a layup is good right over top of the defense.
Remember we talked about Melton playing much bigger than his 6'2", 6'3" stature. And that play right there going over the shot blocker shows that all.
Melton's got 4. Sixers lead by 9. Jaylen Brown in the lane. Kick out left wing. Malcolm Brogdon dribbles across the lane. Gives to Marcus Smart in the near side corner, guarded by bounces to Brogdon in the corner. Shot fake, gets past Reed, goes and is blocked by Harden, who didn't leave his feet. And it's a shot clock violation against Boston. They did not know where to go on that possession.
And Philadelphia has been a very good defensive team throughout this playoffs. And they showed it off on that, the shot clock violation, but another blocked shot as Jason Tatum prepares to enter the game once again. He's been really the only one getting anything going offensively in this first half for the Celtics.
James Harden effortlessly blocking that shot without jumping was like watching a cat swat an egg off of a kitchen counter to the floor, just waiting for something to happen. Harden the other way, airballs a right elbow jumper, and it's out of bounds off of Philadelphia. So Boston ball, they get an offensive surge, and guess what? So do the Sixers. The MVP ready to come into the game, Joel Embiid, as Tatum returns to the floor. Boston down 35-26. Their last 6 possessions, ugly. 3 missed shots, 3 turnovers. Tatum with a right-handed dribble into the front court right on this parquet floor. A bounce up top for Robert Williams, who holds over his head, whips it to the right to Brogdon, who dumps it off to Tatum right in the lane. Turns, goes up, and he gets fouled. Melton got his hands caught up with Tatum, and Jason Tatum is going to the free throw line for the 3rd time already here in the first half.
But that's how Jason Tatum is going to have to play. If they're going to guard him with DeAnthony Melton, he has to go to the post and be aggressive down there, not only looking to score, but also looking to get to the free throw line, especially if Joel Embiid is not in the game. They were able to take advantage of that possession before Embiid checks in.
Tatum misses the first, and it's an immediate counter. One big for another. Embiid in for Reed, and Horford is in for Williams. Elsewhere on the floor, Malcolm Brogdon, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and Jaylen Brown for the Celtics. For Philadelphia, James Harden, George Niang, DeAnthony Melton, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. Sixers 35 and the Celtics 27 as Jason Tatum hits the second free throw. He's got a game-high 12. P.J. Tucker still the leader for the Sixers with 11. Into the front court left. It's Embiid left to the lane. Turns to face on Al Horford. Takes a dribble in, goes up with the right, and it's swatted away by Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum comes up with it, surging to the right side basket. His layup try rejected from behind by Melton. Here comes Harden from right to left. The Sixers in the lead by 8. His layup with the left, no good, and knocked away. I say he turned it over as he collided with Jaylen Brown, who is down under the left side basket, holding his face. That is not good news because you remember February 8th against Philadelphia was when he injured his face. That was a collision with his own teammate, Jason Tatum, and he wore the mask in the first quarter. He took it off here in the second. He is still laying in front of the bright green basket stanchion at the left side. 8:26 to go here, second quarter. The Sixers lead the Celtics by 8 in game 7.
And Marcus Smart needing to be calmed down right now. He took exception to whatever happened on that possession. It seems as though he and George Niang are having some conversation. And it was James Harden with the elbow that elbowed Jalen Brown directly in his face. No call on that one, but the officials over checking now to see if that was a hostile act and if it will be upgraded to a flagrant foul on James Harden. I believe that's what Scott Foster, Eric Lewis, looking at the monitor, will come away with after they look at this replay.
If they do not decide that this is a flagrant foul, you will hear boos louder than you have ever heard in your life.
I'm not concerned as much about the boos as I am the safety of myself.
Something that might be thrown.
and what will be coming from behind us at these officials who are standing right in front of us if that is not upgraded to a flagrant one.
Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander, one row off of courtside just to the left of the Celtics bench here at TD Garden, which if this arena were a body of water, you would think it had algae covering it. So many green shirts and jerseys around this building. Game 7, winner goes on to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Miami Heat. Who would have thunk they would be one of the two teams in the Eastern Conference Finals? As you heard Kevin say a moment ago, in the West, that matchup is already set. The Lakers and the Nuggets. 35-27, Sixers have the lead, and they've held it most of this game. Jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Celtics went on an 8-0 run. Sixers answered with an 8-0 run of their own. And right now, the review is to see if there will be a flagrant foul charged to James.
Boston will retain possession of the ball with 24 on the shot clock. A team foul will be toasted because this is a flagrant foul, and we'll play from there.
And you have to remember that there was no foul called on the possession. So, of course, when the officials come over to look at the monitor, they still have the opportunity to be able to assess the flagrant one, but it has to be a flagrant one. They can't put a common foul on James Harden at that point, so it has to be upgraded to the flagrant one foul.
That play was at the left end. They all marched down to the right end where sole and solitary Jalen Brown, who has emerged with a piece of tissue stuffed up his left nostril. You can just see it peeking out like a snow cap from his nostril there. Will shoot the free throws at the right side.
And Doc Rivers continuing to have conversations with the official scores and the public address announcer right in front of us. Of course, very familiar with this fan base, with the people who work in this building, and won a NBA championship here in 2008, also went to the finals in 2010 where he lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. So Doc kind of back on his old stomping grounds, also opposite end of where he took the Gatorade bath back in 08.
Jalen Brown makes both free throws, and he riles the crowd up, getting them on their feet here. 8:26 to go. Philadelphia 35, Boston 29. Celtics have the ball at the right end. Tatum into the lane, lobs it up. Robert Williams throws it down. Their first field goal in more than 3 minutes. Philadelphia 35, Boston 31.
But that's the difference when you have two bigs on the floor. Joel Embiid has to make a decision, which allows Robert Williams to be an outlet.
Brown takes it away on a pass from Maxey to the basket right side. His layup is good. This is a 2-point game for the first time in a while. 35-31, Philadelphia. Timeout, Sixers.
And it's so loud in here, the players did not know the timeout was being called. Bill Kennedy and Eric Lewis having to go to the players to tell them to stop, go to their respective benches. They could not hear the whistle.
7-0 Boston run. Philadelphia 35 and the Celtics 33 with 7:57 left in the second quarter. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
I just got back from the future.
Excuse me?
I saw a glowing light, and then I was whisked through a doorway to the future.
So what's up? Will we all be wearing spacesuits?
No, the future is about innovation, comfort, and confidence. Underwear and undershirts with 4-way stretch that adjust to you.
That sounds like a Tommy John store to me.
Could I walk into a Tommy John store today and get a shirt that stays tucked in, yet won't bunch up?
The patented Tommy John Stay Tucked undershirt?
Well, what about an untucked shirt that is a hidden sweat-wicking layer and also a t-shirt?
The Tommy John Modern Fit undershirt. I'm wearing one. Everything has their best you'll ever wear is free guarantee. It's why Tommy John doesn't have customers. They have fanatics.
Can I get this stuff anywhere they carry Tommy John?
Sure. Or visit TommyJohn.com/stream and get 20% off your first order, including undershirt packs. 20% off at TommyJohn.com/stream. See site for details.
Tommy John.
You can't miss Canty and Carlin, pound for pound, the biggest show on ESPN Radio.
Canty finds himself in a tough familial situation. So my mom is getting ready to retire. One of the things she wants to do more of is run in marathons. That's one of the things that she's asking me to do with her is run a 5K with her. And you know my policy about running, big fella. I'm not going to do it unless there's a big check at the end of it. Now keep in mind, my mom is older. It's my mom. It's your mom, She's in her 70s. Yeah. And she's still doing this. That's pretty damn impressive. It's very impressive, but it's also embarrassing for me because I'm a former professional athlete, emphasis on the former part. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, running a 5K just for fun or even for charity is a non-starter. But could I do a 5K in under 40 minutes for $1 million? Probably not. I don't know. I bet that you could. I don't think I can. I'm 350 pounds now. When I was playing, I was like, a lot of it is still muscle. No, it is not. I'm not in shape right now. You know the shape I'm in? It's round.
Canty and Carlin, weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin Richard with the Insider Granger Studio. Don't forget, start your morning tomorrow morning. To the puzzle coming today. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. They're followed by Greeny with Mike Greenberg at the AutoZone halftime report. We're going to have more on the John Morant situation. We'll hear from Stephen A. Smith. Huge swing in this game. James Harden with a chance to put Philly up 10 on a layup. Loses the ball. Gets called for a flagrant. Boston gets a 4-point possession in a steal. So instead of being down 10, Boston is down 2. Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander, back to you at the Garden.
On top of that, Kevin, the Stars for Philadelphia have not played as well as the Stars for Boston. Joel Embiid and James Harden are a combined 3 of 13 from the floor. The rest of their team is shooting better than 50%, 9 of 14. And it's 23 points combined for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Tatum with 12, Brown with 11. We got a 2-point game. Sixers in the lead, 7:57 to go. Philadelphia's ball after their timeout.
And you add to that the fact that both those players have only taken one field goal attempt in the first 4 minutes of their second quarter. So not only are they not scoring, they're not getting as many looks.
Maxey on the dribble, right side, free throw line extended, guarded by Brown. Arcs it to Embiid at the free throw line. Against Horford, 2 dribbles with the left, fadeaway Jay. Rattles off, no good. So Embiid still cool to start here, just 2 of 8 for 5 points. Horford straight on. He's great from 3. And that's just short. Williams offensive board. Right side stick back. And 1 for Robert Williams. The big fella in the starting lineup for the second straight game and producing for the second straight game.
But when you have Al Horford shooting the 3, and that is actually basket is not going to count, they're going to take that out on the side. Scott Foster saying that the contact happened before the shot attempt. But with Al Horford shooting the 3, Joel Embiid has to go out and contest it, which means that P.J. Tucker has to keep Robert Williams III off the board. That's a tough task.
Foul on Tucker. Tatum lays it up right, short, contested there by Embiid. Always a difficult shot to make. So it's still Sixers 35, Celtics 33, 7:10 remaining before the half. Embiid and Horford has been a great matchup so far in this game. Embiid setting a high ball screen. Harden takes it left outside the arc. Gets inside. Whips it to the right wing for a 3-pointer. No good from Tobias Harris. And a fight for the rebound. Tipped in. Jaylen Brown got it to Williams, who finds Tatum up ahead, left to right. And now we've got something going on down at the left end of the floor as Robert Williams and Jaylen Brown go over to talk with Scott Foster, the crew chief. I'm not sure if he might have ruled that the ball had gone out of bounds. Our view was obstructed over to that end.
Player review for a hot flag from the bench to opposing player.
Whoa, so that was somebody from the Philadelphia bench involved with Jaylen Brown, and we're going to get a look at it here. 6:50 to go, second quarter. You would expect high tension in Game 7. Sixers lead 35-33. Scott Foster, the crew chief, putting on the headset, and we're going to get a look at this after the missed shot. Jaylen Brown goes to track it down, and at the bench, it didn't appear immediately that anybody did anything physically. This was definitely a verbal altercation.
No. I believe he was actually grabbed. It looks as though he may have been grabbed trying to get out of the bench area. After he goes in, you look and you see a hand on Jaylen Brown. It looks like it maybe George Niang reaches out to grab his shorts to slow him down from getting back down the floor. And I believe that, yes, he grabs his knee.
I see that.
George Niang grabs his knee. So we got another angle to look at it. And, of course, that is a no-no in the game of basketball, absolutely, especially when you consider the fact if you're going into the enemy territory on that bench, they cannot obstruct you in any way whatsoever to keep you out of play. I'm not sure what the penalty would be, most likely a technical foul on George Niang on this one, but if Niang he possibly could be ejected from this game because of that.
To play devil's advocate here, a generous interpretation of this might say, we're watching it slow down maybe a quarter speed. Niang and his teammates are reaching out. They want to make sure that nobody gets hurt there.
No. I would like to go with that one, but we also have to mention that Jaylen Brown was assessed a technical foul on this play. And so Scott Foster going over, that most likely will be rescinded once they recognize why he was standing there talking to the bench on the other end. Most likely they will take away the technical foul and the discipline will go to the Philadelphia 76ers bench. But George Niang intentionally reached out to try to slow him down. Day, if Jaylen Brown turns to say something to someone who grabbed his leg as he's trying to run back down the court, I can't imagine why he would get a technical foul for that. Bench decorum has been such a point of emphasis for the NBA this season. You cannot allow things like that to happen with very little discipline. I believe Scott Foster and the crew missed that opportunity as well.
So 6:50 to go here in the second. We are back to status quo ante as they just inbound to the front court right for Boston. It's Brown between the circles. Chest pass left for Tatum off a Williams screen to the free throw line. Shovels left. Williams layup good. Beautiful pick and roll game there from Williams, and we are tied at 35.
But what you're seeing is Robert Williams III is the one guy for the Celtics that consistently finished over the top of Embiid.
Philadelphia, 5 straight misses. Their last field goal was 3.5 minutes ago. Embiid backing his way down with a right-hand dribble. Sends it out to the right angle for Harden on the drive. Past Tatum, floater to the basket, and it's good as it rolls around the rim over the outstretched arm of Robert Williams. 37-35, Philly. Horford, right corner three. He got it. Al Horford had only shot 26% from deep in this series, and he gives the Celtics the lead. 38-37 with 6 minutes to go, second quarter.
The vocal and spiritual leader of the Celtics making big plays here in Game 7.
Harden drives left to the right corner. Tucker to the right angle. Maxey up top. Embiid floats a three. Too much on it. Harden offensive rebound. 14 on the shot clock for the Sixers, down 38-37. Harden swings it right wing. Maxey, he surges to the basket. Floated try is good. He hits the deck. The basket drops through the cylinder. Philadelphia 39, Boston 38. 5.5 to go before the break. It's Brown up top. He was open. Tucker closed out. Brown blows by. Celtics get it to Tatum in the near side corner, guarded by Harris. Lefty dribble to the basket, and he puts it up with a left. Southpaw score. Jason Tatum, 40-39, Boston.
But you see Embiid having to rotate late. Now with Horford making threes, he has to be mindful of where he is on the court.
Harden twisting his way into the defense, had it poked away by Williams. Jaylen Brown left to right across midcourt. Hesitation dribble at the free throw line. Gives it back to Williams. Down the lane. He passes out left wing Tatum. Surveys his options, guarded by Harris, who wants to push him toward the baseline to Tatum's left. 8 to shoot. Tatum dribbles right, spins left at the block, lays it in, and the Celtics go up 42-39.
Amazing the difference that 3 days make. 3 nights ago, Jason Tatum was missing those easy layups that he's made all season long that's allowed him to average 30 points per game. He's been on fire here tonight at home.
Already more than halfway there. Tatum with a game-high 16. Celtics by 3. Embiid in the left block, working in on Horford, turns, shoots, scores. He can get that look most any time down the floor. Hits it there, 42-41 Boston. Horford to the right wing, a bounce to Williams at the top of the key. He dribbles left, running try, no good. Long rebound to the near side corner. A dive for it, it's out of bounds. And Philadelphia ball with 4:03 to go in the second quarter. Celtics lead by 1, 42-41.
But how about second team All-NBA, All-Star, Jaylen Brown diving on the floor. We've seen him diving on the floor multiple times throughout this game, going after loose balls. Respect to him for getting on the floor, recognizing how important this game 7 is.
He's not thinking about the future. He's just playing mask off here in game number 7. 3:55 to go. Embiid in the lane, running try across the lane with the right, no. Smart the rebound, swings it ahead to Brown to the basket right side. He lays it up, underhand and in. Jaylen Brown now has 13, and Boston leads by 3, 44-41, as Brown flexes, getting back on defense at midcourt. Maxey hoists a deep right wing 3. A crowd silencer falls. 44 all. Tyrese Maxey now has 10.
Tyrese Maxey's had great games in this building throughout this series, and he's getting hot right now.
Brown backing his way in on Maxey, right side of the lane. Embiid comes over to double. Shovel to Williams in front of the basket. Blocked away by Embiid. Tobias Harris corrals, pushes right to left against Horford, into the lane, and scores. He lowered the shoulder like a running back between the tackles and pushed Al Horford out of the way. His home court be darned. Maxey, left wing triple, off the mark is Brown contested late. Boston controls the rebound. Just 2:35 to go in the first half. It's Tatum with a 17-footer straight on. And he's got a game-high 18. Celtics tie it at 46.
Jason Tatum's got it going. Jaylen Brown's got it going. Right now, the stars for the C's have shown up. But the Sixers staying right in touch.
Embiid with the ball, left block, shoots over Horford, gets the foul. Shot is no good as it rolls off the front rim. And Al Horford picks up his second personal.
And you can see right now the strategy from Joe Mazzulla and the Boston Celtics is to allow Al Horford to guard Joel Embiid straight up, man-to-man, not helping and allowing the others to get involved. They're going to make Embiid have to score big to beat them.
And so far, so good. He's 3 of 11 from the field. He hits the first free throw. That makes it 47-46 Philadelphia with 2:17 to go. And Embiid has really been masterful at the free throw line here in this series. 91%, 3 points better than his regular season average.
A luxury to have a 7-footer, your MVP, who you want to play through and throw the basketball to at any point in the game, with the ability to go to the free throw line and make 9 out of his 10 free throws, which very few players have been able to do.
Embiid now up to 9 points as he makes the first and second. Horford goes to the bench. Malcolm Brogdon returns for the Celtics. 2:10 to go. Boston has not scored any bench points today, and they've worked back from a deficit to make this a pretty even ball game. Tatum left side, layup try no good. Embiid there in coverage. And a whistle against Philadelphia. Embiid takes both hands and goes as if I committed the foul there.
But, you know, the crazy part about that is, in the regular season, that's a technical foul. That's one of the things that the officials made sure that they called early in this year, is pretty much waving them off with your hand as though your call was insignificant. Of course, here in the playoffs, I'm thankful they did not call it on Embiid. But you can tell the difference in the way the game is officiated at playoff time in comparison to the regular season.
The personal is on Embiid, so his first. Tatum at the line. It's 5 of 7 at the stripe. So this is his 4th visit to the free throw line here in the first half. He has a game-high 19 after scoring 16 points in the 4th last game. And the second free throw, nothing but net. Philadelphia, 48. Boston, 48. 2 minutes to go until the half here in Game 7. Winner is on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Embiid backs down against 3 defenders, puts it up, and the layup no good, as he will go back to the free throw line for the second straight trip down the floor. And he knocked Robert Williams to the deck, who was the last one coming over.
But if you look at the matchup on that possession, Joe Mazzulla switching it up. Of course, we saw Al Horford come out of the game. Malcolm Brogdon checked in for him. And it was actually Marcus Smart defending Joel Embiid, but they did bring the double team too late.
So Embiid at the line. He's only 3 of 11 from the floor. He misses the front end on the free throw. He's 3 of 4 at the stripe, 9 points. On the floor for Philadelphia, along with Embiid, DeAnthony Melton, James Harden, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey. Philadelphia in white, Boston in green. It's Brogdon, along with Tatum, Smart, Robert Williams, and Jaylen Brown. Second free throw falls for Embiid. Philadelphia 49, Boston 48, a minute 45 left, second quarter. Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander, glad you're with us here for Game 7 from TD Garden in Boston. Tatum, top of the key, takes a Williams screen left, gets to the left elbow, turns his back to the basket, keeps his dribble alive, bullies his way in against Maxey, shoots and scores. And Jason Tatum, unstoppable, 22 points.
Well, because he's getting to his spots. When he's got smaller defenders on him, he's getting to his spots on the block and scoring right over the top of Maxey and Melton.
Every time down the floor, this has been it. A lob into Embiid, left block, he turns and scores, and you got a foul on the play as Marcus Smart fell over, didn't get a whistle, but as Embiid came down in his scoring motion, tripped over the horizontal Smart, who was laying on the baseline under the basket.
But by rule, Marcus Smart was laying inside the restricted area. So as he falls, you normally want to earn your fouls, but at the same time, Joel Embiid did turn his ankle when he landed on Marcus Smart, so we'll see if that slows him down any.
So Embiid to the free throw line as the crowd indicates their displeasure, chanting about the leavings of a large farm animal to the officials, not liking that call. 52-50, Sixers over the Celtics. 70 seconds remaining here in the second. As Tatum dribbles over the midcourt stripe, he flings Melton's defensive hand off of him. Smart gets into the lane, and from the dotted arc, hits a wide-open jumper. I think he was surprised how open he was and ties the game at 52.
Embiid was concerned about Robert Williams behind him for the lob, so he never even contested the shot from Smart.
Harden, left of the lane, well outside the area where he'd want to score. He dribbles in, lowers his shoulder, lost the ball. Jaylen Brown has it for Boston. 40 seconds left in the half. Brown at the high right wing. Tied at 52. Williams top of the key. Passes back for Tatum. Takes a dribble to his left. Pull up. Left wing three in the air. Good! 25 first half points for Jason Tatum. Boston is alive. The Celtics 55 and the Sixers 52. 25 seconds in the first half. And a 7-second difference, game clock and shot clock. Harden at the high right wing. He keeps his dribble there. They send the double team. He launches the three and airballs it. It bounces out of bounds. And this building is about to get very loud as the Celtics are 9.7 seconds away from taking a lead into the locker room.
And smart play by Malcolm Brogdon. Joe Mazzulla was yelling from the sideline to go and blitz Harden, get the basketball out of his hands. James Harden deciding to shoot over the double team of Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon turns out not to be his best decision.
Inbound, Brown to Tatum. He's got 7 seconds. He's across midcourt. Pull up, deep three, straight on. Off the back rim, long rebound. Belongs to Philadelphia, and the first half is over. These heavyweights are trading blows back and forth. Game 7, Eastern Conference Finals on the line, and at the half, it's the Celtics 55 and the Sixers 52. So let's get into Kevin Winter in the studio with the start of the AutoZone halftime report.
All right, Mike and Corey. Wow, what a first half that is. Jason Tatum, monster, 25 points. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? It's because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries, and they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Up next on the AutoZone halftime report, we will take a look at the biggest story off the court. It involves Ja Morant, it involves social media, and it allegedly involves a gun for the second time in less than 3 months. The reaction from our NBA television countdown crew is up next. At the half here in Game 7, Boston with the 55-52 lead over Philly. This is the NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
When Shopify says you can sell anywhere, oh, they mean it. Woo, hold up. Just got a new sale. Order fulfilled and shipped. Inventory level's good. Whoa, Shopify doesn't mind if you're at sea level or on top of the world. You can run and grow your business anywhere. Climbing mountains is never easy, but at least Shopify gives me all the tools I need for my business to hit new peaks.
Whether you're selling carabiners or crop tops, start selling with Shopify today and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of businesses worldwide. We've built the platform so you can keep climbing and grow your business to new heights.
With Shopify, you really can sell to anyone from anywhere.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify. Start selling online today. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/play. 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 Internet connection required. Not available on mountaintops or seafloors.
Finally, baseball is back. Swing into the season with tickets to the action. Plus, with basketball and hockey heating up, now is a great time to experience a game. Vivid Seats is proud to be the official ticketing partner of ESPN. From on the glass to in the stands, Vivid Seats has great ticket prices to all the games. Every crack of the bat, every dribble down the court. Catch it all with Vivid Seats. Download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Tatum, top of the key, takes a Williams screen left, gets to the left elbow, turns his back to the basket, keeps his dribble alive, bullies his way in against Maxey, shoots and scores. Jason Tatum, unstoppable, 22 points.
He has 25 as we go to the half. Kevin Winter with you in our studio on the AutoZone Halftime Report, which is brought to you by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. Boston leads Philadelphia 55-52 in Game 7. Winner gets Miami on Monday.
Breaking news where the Memphis Grizzlies have suspended Ja Morant from all team activities after another Instagram Live video surfaced, apparently showing him with a handgun.
At the end of the day, it's not just about Ja Morant. It's about you being a global superstar for this multi-billion-dollar league where the faces of those leagues face a different level of scrutiny.
Morant served an 8-game suspension in March after he displayed a handgun during an early morning Instagram Live session from a Denver area strip club.
Twice in 3 months for Ja Morant. The NBA is investigating. He is suspended from all Memphis Grizzlies team activities. As you can imagine, during NBA Countdown before Game 7 earlier today on ABC television, lots of emotion and reaction. ESPN Stephen A. Smith.
I remember speaking to Draymond Green on his podcast earlier this year. And one of the things he raved about when he talked about Ja Morant, he said Ja Morant is one of the most intelligent players in the game and one of the most intelligent athletes you will ever find. So if we want to eradicate the word stupidity, then we have to go to something deeper. There's got to be a problem here. Now, whether it's with the company you keep or other things that you're doing that lead to you making these foolish, idiotic decisions, there is no question. There's a problem somewhere. There's a problem somewhere. And ultimately, it comes back to Ja Morant because he is not a child. He is a young man. He knows better and regard. He's the one with a young child. He's the one with a family. He's the one on the basketball court. He's the one that got to the extension kicking in this upcoming next year that starts, that could begin a 5-year, potentially $231 million contract. He's the one with a signature shoe with Nike. He's the one with the Powerade contract. You got all of this stuff going on and everything's in jeopardy, and yet it's self-inflicted. To me, obviously, the NBA is likely going to step in. They're not going to leave it just up to the Memphis Grizzlies. They've got to make a statement here to protect their brand. I expect a double-digit game suspension.
ESPN Stephen A. Smith, Jalen Rose, who remember back when Ja returned to the game after the 8-game suspension, Jalen Rose was the one who conducted the interview.
It's really unfortunate. And the one thing we learn as athletes, in particular, those that are fortunate enough to make it to the professional ranks, is that we're required to be role models. We're required to be eligible, and we're required to be role models. And that doesn't necessarily serve in other professions as entertainers, whether you're an artist or whether you're an actor. A lot of times this type of behavior is celebrated and or promoted. But when you're an athlete, it's punished.
That is Jalen Rose earlier today on NBA Countdown. Again, this situation will develop and continue to unfold with the NBA investigating. Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio for the AutoZone Halftime Report. Up next, we get you set for the second half. All I can say is bring your popcorn and buckle up. This is Game 7 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
We think your music should play nonstop. Ironically, we're stopping it to tell you that Southwest has the most nonstop flights in California. We also think changing your travel plans should be as easy as changing songs. That's why we don't charge you change or cancel fees. When you're ready to go with heart. Book now at southwest.com. Based on total number of DOT published nonstop flights to and from California from the period from 2/1/2023 to 8/14/2023 compared to all other airlines as of 1/20/2023. No change fees, but fare difference may apply. Failure to cancel a reservation at least 10 minutes prior to scheduled departure may result in forfeited travel funds.
Ashley's Memorial Day mattress sale is going on now. Right now, you can save $1,000 on select Sealy mattresses, or you can get $100 instant savings on an adjustable base when you purchase an Ashley Sleep mattress valued at $499.99 or more. Don't wait another day. Give yourself the restful, rejuvenating sleep you need to be your best self this summer. Visit your local Ashley store to explore our wide selection of mattresses, or visit ashley.com.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
It's Macy's Mother's Day sale. Take an extra 25% off great gifts for every mom with your coupon or Macy's card. Like dresses, shoes, and more she'll love, 25 to 40% off. Or shop specials like 55 to 65% off robes, towels, and more bath accessories. And fragrance gift sets from her favorite brands like Carolina Herrera, Estee Lauder, and more. Want more deals? Download the free Macy's app by saying, Alexa, open Macy's now. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Lowe's knows reliability is always in style. And during May, we're celebrating Maytag Month with the best savings of the season. Right now, save up to 30% on all Maytag major appliances. Plus, take an additional $200 off the purchase of any 3 major Maytag appliances, including laundry, ovens, and dishwashers. Get the best appliance deals of the season during Maytag Month. Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. See Lowe's.com for details. Additional $200 via mail-in rebate. Valid 5/6 through 5/31.
DQ presents The Sound of Summer Calling.
Hey, it's me, Summer. I know you're busy with Beach Days, Little League games, and all the other fun in the sun, but you gotta get to DQ ASAP Pronto right now. The new Summer Blizzard menu is here, and it brought 5 iconic summer flavors, like new peanut butter puppy chow and s'mores. Oh yeah, it's back. Oh, that's my other line. Everyone is pumped about this new DQ Summer Blizzard menu. I gotta go. See ya, DQ.
Get it in the app. DQ. Happy tastes good.
You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin with you inside our Granger studio in the AutoZone Halftime Report.
Passes back for Tatum. Takes a dribble to his left. Pull up, left wing three in the air. Good! 25 first half points for Jason Tatum. Boston is alive. The Celtics 55 and the Sixers 52.
That is where we stand. A first half recap brought to you by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. 24 minutes to find out who gets Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is Game 7 on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
This Mother's Day is the perfect chance to celebrate every mom in your life, whether she's a mom to fur babies, a plant mom, or the mom who raised you. Right now, get $400 off Peloton tread packages and choose from a variety of accessories like a heart rate band, yoga mat, and more. This is the perfect gift for mom to explore what gets her moving. Whether she has 5 or 20 minutes, she can choose from classes like disco walks, trap runs, or even EDM hikes. All access membership separate. Offer ends May 14, 2023. Excludes Peloton tread basics. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and member FDIC.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie.
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity.
We're going to the city?
Authenticity.
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift the Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Ooh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
It's Macy's Mother's Day sale. Take an extra 25% off great gifts for every mom with your coupon or Macy's card. Like dresses, shoes, and more she'll love 25 to 40% off. Or shop specials like 55 to 65% off robes, towels, and more bath accessories. And fragrance gift sets from her favorite brands like Carolina Herrera, Estee Lauder, and more. Want more deals? Download the free Macy's app by saying, Alexa, open Macy's now. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
I'm Kevin Winter. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Game 7, Celtics and Sixers on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. That'll do it for us on the Autos on Halftime Report as we go inside the numbers. Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. 25 for Tatum in the first half, the second most in a half scored in a Game 7 by a Celtic player over the last 25 years. The only other player who did it better, Paul Pierce, back in 2008 in round 2 against the Cavaliers. I see some similarities. Also, as we go back to Mike Cousins and Corey Alexander, that game was an epic Game 7. We could be in line for one today. Back to you guys at the Garden.
Let's look at our star watch here, Kevin, and just compare. You mentioned Tatum and Brown. They've got 37 points. They've combined to shoot 14 of 27 and all 10 of the Celtics' free throws. Meanwhile, Embiid and Harden, 19 points. They have combined to make 6 field goals and turn it over 5 times. All things considered, Philadelphia should feel lucky to be down just by 3.
They absolutely should. And when you consider your stars have had this type of performance, but they've been able to get a great supporting cast help. When you think about what Tobias Harris has done, 8 points for him. P.J. Tucker with 11 points coming in that first quarter, and Tyrese Maxey in double figures with 10. So you mentioned that the Sixers are fortunate to be where they are right now without their stars playing great.
But that's why they have two halves in this game. I expect to see an even better Joel Embiid and a better James Harden here in the second half.
The pre-third quarter preparations are underway. Just to give you a picture of where we are, the row behind the scorer's table, all the officials, they wear the blue pullover warm-up, and they all just came over. Scott Foster, though, the crew chief, he looks like a guy with 29 years of experience. He neatly folded that like it was going back on the shelf inside the store.
He was trying to get himself back together after the conversation he just had with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was still upset about the fact that he got a technical foul for being grabbed on the sideline. And so Scott Foster getting his cheek corrected while he was making sure that he folded up his jacket.
Philadelphia will have the ball to open the third quarter in white. Phila across the front with the number underneath that. Boston in green. Boston written across the front in white. Numbers in white. And a little shamrock right on the belt of the shorts. Front court right as the crowd finds their seats here inside TD Garden. Sixers down by 3, 55-52. Here's Embiid from the left side of the lane. Whips it to the near side corner. Tobias Harris splashes in a 3, and we are tied 55 all. A nice start for Philadelphia coming out of the locker room.
Confident look from Tobias Harris right there off of a nice find from Joel Embiid.
Celtic to the left end. Robert Williams left block. A one-hand pass up top for Brown. He chest passes to the far corner. Horford guarded closely by Harris. Bounce feed to Smart just underneath the right elbow. 5 to shoot. Turnaround jumper for Smart. High arcer goes as he hits the deck and pumps his right fist. Celtics up 2.
Both of those guys at one point were the best players in the state of Texas going at it on the block here, trying to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Joel Embiid. And seeing what happens from there. 7 to shoot. Jaylen Brown, 17-foot pull-up right of the lane, no good. Off the back rim, and Embiid secures the Philadelphia rebound. Here comes Harden across midcourt. Just 6 first-half points for James Harden, who has scored huge, 45 in game 1 of this series. Embiid at the left elbow, shot fakes, holds the ball at his left hip, rips it through to a right-hand dribble. He goes up, swiped away by Horford, and a kick ball is called against Philadelphia. Boston gets control, up by 2.
You're going to give Horford the credit for Marcus Smart's work. I can appreciate that. But however, Horford did a great job. Oh, actually, both of them got to handle that basketball. Okay, so we both were correct. I'll give you partial credit on that one.
He's Corey Alexander, the former NBA guard, Mike Cousins. He's also never wrong.
No, I was wrong once.
A long time ago. 10 minutes to go here, third quarter. Boston leads Philadelphia by 2. Game 7. Eastern Conference semis winner to take on Miami. Tatum from the right lane. Drives and scores with the left hand all the way across the defense to put Boston up 4.
And when Jason Tatum sees Joel Embiid coming out to guard him on the perimeter, that is green means go. Get downhill. There's no one to affect him once he gets past Embiid at the rim.
Maxey gave it to Harden, high left wing. Harden waved him off, puts it on the deck, goes to the basket, throws to the left corner. 3 up from Tucker, no good. He had a huge first half. Tucker with a Philadelphia high 11. So the Celtics control, 9:20 to go in the third, up 59-55. Tatum at the free throw line against Embiid. Dribbles to the near side corner. 10 on the shot clock. Tatum one-on-one. Step back, shoots over Embiid, and scores! 28. Now 30 points for Jason Tatum.
And patience from Jason Tatum. Embiid does a great job defending him to the rim, brings him back out onto the perimeter. It's almost taking the guy that can't swim out into deep water. And out there, Jason Tatum absolutely has an advantage over Joel Embiid.
He is a shark in open waters. We've got 9:09 to go in the third. Celtics 62, Sixers 55. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Monday on Fitz and Harry, we're reacting to the NBA playoffs as the Lakers and LeBron are 4 wins away from the NBA Finals.
Plus, I'll tell you who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference.
Ooh, Fitz and Harry, Monday, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and watch on the ESPN app. Coming up Monday, we'll recap a pivotal weekend in the NBA, plus get you ready for the conference finals. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Zay Flowers, he is the separator in this class. He's so fast that a lot of his tape at BC is him having to slow down.
Listen and subscribe to The Mina Kimes Show, featuring Lenny, wherever you listen to podcasts.
The biggest names in sports are on ESPN Radio.
NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman.
I don't think our competitive balance is matched by any other sport, and making the playoffs is tough. And once you get in it, there's nothing like our playoffs, particularly the first round.
Luke Kennard, who's our guest here from the Grizzlies.
I look back whenever I'm done playing this beautiful game of basketball, and I played against one of the greatest of all time.
Former Alabama defensive end Will Anderson.
I think what I just bring to the game is like nobody else. You know what I'm saying? The mentality I have, the passion I have for the game. I put so much work in to be in this position, and I'm just ready for it to pay off.
Devon Witherspoon of the Seattle Seahawks.
What is the biggest thing that you've been told that you need to work on going into the next level?
There's a lot of the trash talking for real after the play. A lot of unnecessary trash talk.
The biggest names in sports come here. And it all starts weekday mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. And continues all day. This is ESPN Radio.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals comes your way Tuesday night, ESPN Radio, Denver Lakers. And it will start with coverage of the NBA's draft lottery, 8 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesday, we begin our coverage of the Eastern Conference Finals. Someone plays host to the Miami Heat in game number 1. Meanwhile,
I'm one of the best basketball players in the world.
that was after a disastrous 40 minutes or 44 minutes in game 6, and then rescuing the Celtics. And today, Jason Tatum is back.
Point I probably would have said it, but if I'm Jason Tatum, I'm absolutely saying it because it's the truth. And not everyone can handle the truth, but the reality behind it is he is one of the best basketball players on earth. But he said humbly in front.
Oh, that makes it all better.
Hey, agreed.
30 points for Tatum as Boston leads 62-55. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter here. Philadelphia with the ball, front court right. Harden at the right elbow, picks up his dribble, throws an overhead skip pass to the left corner. Tobias Harris launches a three that nearly sat as it rolled off the rim, but to the front. And Marcus Smart, who grabbed that rebound, is grimacing as he runs back up the floor. Keep an eye on that. Smart controls front court left. The high left wing guarded by Maxey, who stares into his eyes. Chest pass back up between the circles for Tatum. Takes a slow dribble to his right, crossover left. Takes a ball screen left from Williams. Top of the key three over Embiid. Oh, he can't be stopped tonight. Jason Tatum's got 33, and it's a 10-0 Boston run.
This is the Jason Tatum that was the front runner for NBA MVP for the first 2 months of the regular season. That's what we're seeing here tonight.
Philly has not hit a field goal in 3.5 minutes. They trail by 10. Harden with a step-back triple. And he silences this TD Garden crowd. Hit that right with a hand in his face from Al Horford. 65-58 Boston, 7:53 third quarter. Tatum snakes his way to the basket, gets fouled, throws it up. Shot is no good as it arced its way from right to left over the basket. But another Philadelphia foul stops the clock here. 7:50 to go in the third, and Tatum at the free throw line with 33 points. And the foul is on Joel Embiid. So a little cleanup from earlier. Thought there was a foul on Embiid. It was on Tobias Harris, who has 2, and Embiid now has a second personal as well. Tatum up to 34 points. He hits the first free throw. Malcolm Brogdon checks into the game for Boston as he replaces Robert Williams. And one thing to note, last game, Grant Williams did not play for Boston. Same here today, just a 7-man rotation with 2 off the bench for Joe Mazzulla.
But when you think about the matchups in this one, and of course how effective Robert Williams has been getting those minutes alongside Al Horford, and to spell Al Horford, the pressure he puts on the Philly defense as a lob threat makes him much more suitable for this series. Grant Williams will be back if the Celtics are able to advance.
Boston 67, Philadelphia 58. Harden left of the lane, tosses to the corner to his left for Maxey, who takes the dribble to the high left wing. He's got Tatum on him. 5 to shoot. Ball poked away. Embiid near midcourt with 2 to shoot. I don't know if he sees the clock. He throws it up, and it's an air ball in the hands of Jaylen Brown. Shot clock violation, a possession pristinely defended by Boston.
And the second shot clock violation of the game. Each team now has one, and it's happened on the same end of the floor. So it's been a defensive battle, not the high-scoring affair that you may expect, but when you're talking about Game 7, both teams locked in defensively.
Let's go Celtics, reverberating off the ceiling down to the parquet floor here at TD Garden. 67-58, Boston in the lead. Jaylen Brown, free throw line jumper, no good. Great contest there from Maxey. Harden secures the miss for Philadelphia as they trail by 9. 7 minutes to go in the third. Left wing Embiid on the dribble, gives to the corner. Harris puts up a three, off the back iron. Horford leaps for a left-handed rebound, immediately gives it up to Tatum. 35 and counting for Tatum. From the top of the key, he gives to Horford in the paint, kick out Jaylen Brown, right wing three. He got it. Largest lead of the night, 70-58 Celtics. Philadelphia's got to find a way to slow this thing down. High right wing, here's Embiid against Horford. 2 dribbles in, spins right, shot fakes, turnaround Jay. Short, Horford got a hand on it. Jaylen Brown had it, poked away Tobias Harris, but out of bounds off of Philadelphia. Boston's got the ball and 19,000 behind them.
And what you have to remember is Al Horford played alongside Joel Embiid for a season. These guys went at it in practice. Part of the reason why Embiid was able to get better was because he was a teammate of Al Horford. Al Horford knows a lot of what he's doing.
Tatum pulls up for three. Got it again! 38 points for Jason Tatum. He stands at midcourt, waving his right hand up and down, getting the crowd to their feet as well. Boston 73.
Professional golfer Vijay Singh.
There has to be a lot more junior golf, a lot more tournaments that they can actually look forward to playing, and maybe golf tournaments where young kids can caddy and then kids can say that, hey, I want to be a pro golfer, you know. Getting access to golf in Fiji is so hard. It's almost impossible to have another me come up there, you know, especially at Fiji. But, you know, there are other islands out there, and, you know, they get inspiration from Australia, from New Zealand, because that's the closest, you know, big countries that, you know, we follow.
ESPN Radio, celebrating and amplifying the stories of Asian American, Pacific Islander, and Asian athletes and sports figures.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
The final horse now in the gate, and they're off. They're starting off with a double toe loop jump, leaving a difficult 7-10 split. It's his movement on the inside rail. Only 9 pins separate them now as they head to the final quarter mile. They're neck and neck. It's down to the last frame. Here comes the axle jump. They bundle their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Win, strike, savings, gold.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
O'Reilly. Make your tires shine with superior coverall tire shine at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people can help you choose the right cleaning supplies for your vehicle. Finish any great detail job with superior coverall tire shine. Right now, get 2 bottles for just $18. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Remember college? Early morning classes, all-night study sessions, and somewhere in there, maybe even a social life. 5-Hour Energy got you through. Now, you've got responsibilities, work, bills, a family. 5-Hour Energy is still here, with the same alert, energized feeling you relied on back then. Every day, 5-Hour Energy helps millions just like you be at their best when it really matters. Rediscover 5-Hour Energy. We'll get you through again. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Kevin Winter with you inside our Granger studio. It is happening for Boston in this third quarter. An 18-6 start, as my cousin alluded to. Jason Tatum cannot be stopped. 38 points today. That is 1 point behind Larry Bird for third place for the most in Celtic history in a Game 7. I mentioned coming out of halftime, Paul Pierce in a legendary duel with LeBron and the Cavs in 08. But Pierce scored 41. The Celtic Game 7 record is Sam Jones with 47 in 1963. My cousin's Corey Alexander. Tatum's got 38. And we've got a lot of time left. Back to you.
18 minutes and 14 seconds in regulation to be precise. That's 6:14 to go here in the third. Today is the 147th Game 7 in the 77-year history of the NBA. I don't know how many have been louder than this one, but this might be right up there.
But it's our first one, which means it's the best one right now. And it has been that thus far.
Sixers get it in and immediately turn it over. They went about 90 feet from left to right down the floor. Harden got into the paint, coughed it up. Not an ideal way to come out of a timeout that they call. Smart into the lane. Horford off the back rim, no good from Melton. Melton and Maxey had a long conversation with assistant coach Sam Cassell sitting on the scorer's table here at midcourt as they were waiting to resume play.
And Sam Cassell, of course, played in a number of Game 7s, including his time with the Boston Celtics here on this floor, so he knows all about this matchup.
Tatum had the matchup he wanted, one-on-one. He gets it to Brown, top of the key three. Good! They sent the double team over to Jason Tatum. He kicked it away after being guarded by Embiid, and this time Jaylen Brown makes Philadelphia pay. He's got 19.
You remember a time when they were talking about breaking these two guys up? Well, I shouldn't say they, because the Celtics never talk about it.
Harden is fouled on the floor, trying to navigate his way to the basket. This was a 3-point game 7 minutes ago, and it's now the Celtics by 18, 76-58.
But the Boston Celtics have been one of the best three-point shooting teams all season long. It's the way they got off to such a hot start this year. They had the best record in the NBA for at least the first 41 games of the regular season. And now they're reverting back to that, especially with this big lineup on the floor, which has actually created even better spacing, especially it helps when Al Horford's knocking down threes.
Horford guarding Embiid off the inbound. Dribble handoff Harden at the free throw line. He shovels left to no one. It's out of bounds. And another Philadelphia turnover, their 11th. Last made field goal for the Sixers at the 8:02 mark. And now 4:50 to go here in the third.
And unless something changes significantly over the next 17 minutes or so of game action, this is going to be another one of those playoff games that's talked about regarded by James Harden.
Tatum with a floater. And that was short, a lot of contact there. He does not get a whistle. Embiid dribbles over midcourt, left to right, passes back to Harden, who's called for a backcourt violation. It looked like he caught it in the front court right, but the whistle from Eric Lewis, the official on the backside of the play, makes it another Philadelphia turnover.
But the problem there is James Harden was in the basketball. He actually jumped to try to establish himself in the front court, but had not established himself in the front court before he caught that basketball. So that's why it was called a backcourt violation.
For the first time in this game, Daniel House has checked in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because of a three from Malcolm Brogdon. This game might be over with 4:30 to go in the third. Celtics 79, Sixers 58, timeout Philly.
But what you love the most about this Boston Celtics team, Jason Tatum has celebrated the last two Jaylen Brown threes. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum celebrating the Malcolm Brogdon three, and Marcus Smart running all over the building just to celebrate everything that's going on here for the Celtics.
A 24-6 Boston run, doing everything they could not necessarily do on Thursday night in Game 6. 79-58. And still, Philadelphia is going on almost 4 minutes without a made basket. The Stars, quiet in the first half and ice cold here in the third quarter.
And we've also talked about the Boston Celtics and their commentary regarding redeeming themselves in front of their home crowd after their what they refer to as pathetic Game 5 performance where they could not make a shot in this building.
They were booed by their home crowd.
They were booed in this third quarter by their home crowd. So a complete turn of fortunes here for the Boston Celtics in Game 7.
Jason Tatum is the story. 38 points, 13 of 21 from the floor. Jaylen Brown, an otherwise great game, only half of that with 19. The trouble is for Philadelphia, Joel Embiid has 13. He's the MVP. The rest of their high scorers should not be 2 points behind Joel Embiid.
But it's the defense of the Boston Celtics. That's the reason why it's been difficult for Joel Embiid. And you have to think about having both bigs on the floor and the ability they've had to guard Embiid with both Al Horford and Robert Williams on the court at the same time.
Players back underway. Philadelphia into the front court right. They trail by 21. Maxey at the left angle. Guarded there by Brogdon. Sent it to the corner. Tucker drives baseline. Kicks. It's tipped out of bounds by Jaylen Brown with 5 seconds to go. He's got conversation and some spirited words with House, who was into the game for the first time here. He wanted him to slide up to the free throw line, extended. In to guard Harden. From the baseline, Melton floats it up top. Embiid with an over-the-shoulder Willie Mays-like catch. One to shoot, fadeaway three, double-teamed off the backboard. And that's a shot clock violation.
Ball did not hit the rim. Even though D'Anthony Melton caught the basketball off the glass, it never hit the rim. So shot clock violation, another strong defensive stand for the Celtics.
Celtics in the green. They've got Jason Tatum bringing the ball over midcourt. Joined on the floor by Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, and Marcus Smart. 3:55 to go third quarter. Celtics by 21. Horford to Smart in the left corner. A three. No. And a rebound to House for Philadelphia. Philly here in the third quarter has turned it over 7 times, made 2 field goals. Harden against Horford. Passes to the right. Melted into the corner from Maxey. Cross-court skip. House with a shot fake. Drives into the lane against Horford. Fades away. Leaves it way short with the right hand. Horford saves it on the baseline. Gets it into Brogdon. Celtics pushing right to left. Brogdon at the left angle. Bounces to his left for Tatum. Spins baseline. Looking for the reverse lay-in. And he's fouled hard by Embiid as Tatum takes a seat. Gets helped back up by Smart and walks calmly to the free throw line at the left side.
And the opportunity for Jason Tatum now with 3:18 remaining in this third quarter to get to the free throw line for a 40-burger. So when you think about the fact of what Jason Tatum has been able to do through not yet 3 quarters in this game, and again, it hasn't been as though he's had to carry this team as he misses the first free throw. But it's not as though he's had to carry this team. They've got great production from so many different players, but he has stood out. He has been the star that shined the brightest here under the biggest lights.
Crowd chanting MVP before his first free throw. And the second is good for Tatum, who's now got 39 points. 9 of those at the stripe, 12 from beyond the arc. Boston 80, Philadelphia 58. Harden between the circles. From the top of the key, stutter step dribble. Gets to the basket, kicks to the corner. House for 3, no. Long rebound, left side, Melton. Gives it back to House on the near side corner. Another 3, missed again. Horford with the rebound. He starts the break from right to left without numbers. At the high right wing, he's looking under the basket. He bounces to White just into the game, into the corner. And a layup try under the basket, no good for Brogdon. Philadelphia in control. Harden left wing. In transition, a 3 is up. And no good from Melton. And a whistle on the rebound as the foul goes against Boston with 2:39 to go. Corey, a question for you here. It's 80-58. James Harden getting to the basket. He's 2 or 3 feet away. Could try a floater. He kicks it out. What is your thought on that?
Floaters aren't going to help him at this point. They've got to make threes. And James Harden has made the right reads. You excuse the number of the turnovers that he had in this game, but he's made the right reads. You think about DeAnthony Melton, P.J. Tucker, Tobias Harris, whomever it may be, Daniel House. They've gotten the looks necessary. They just haven't made them. They made those looks in the first half. We talked about P.J. Tucker, what he did in the first quarter, 11 points for him. But we also asked the question, can you sustain this? They have not been able to sustain that type of shooting. So therefore, they can't take the pressure off of Joel Embiid in the post, and they can't take the pressure off of James Harden, creating those driving lanes to be able to finish at the rim.
Here's something that lays it out pretty clearly, how good Tatum has been in the quarter, how poor Philadelphia has played offensively. Jason Tatum has got a game-high 39, 14 points alone in the third quarter. Philadelphia, 6 as a team.
Well, you have to go back to quarter number 4 in Game 6, where Jason Tatum had 16 points, and the Philadelphia 76ers only had 13 as a team. So this is not an uncommon trend in this series, especially over the last 2 games.
But when there are no games left to be played, it is not a promising one for Philadelphia.
That it is not.
Which will endure a lot of questions going into the offseason if they come up short in this game. Right now, they are scoreless the last 5 minutes and 23 seconds. This is Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals here on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app from TD Garden, Boston, Massachusetts. Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander. This series between Boston and Philadelphia has been sensational, and the winner goes on to take on the Miami Heat for the right to play in the NBA Finals, where the Celtics lost to Golden State last year. Right wing 3, no good for White. Paul Reed, the big forward, just into the game for Philadelphia. He played a couple of minutes.
Just made a field goal since they have scored a point in this game.
White left wing 3 is good. There was a drive and kick from Marcus Smart to get White into the action. His first points in 9 minutes, 83-58 Boston. From the top of the key on the dribble, Maxey with a runner, and he ends the Philadelphia drought. He gets them to a paltry 60. They now trail by 23, 83-60, a minute 30, third quarter.
A drought that lasted 6.5 minutes of game time.
Brogdon turns the corner right side, lays it up and in. Why not? He's in on the action as well. Brogdon now has 5 points. 85-60. Maxey at the free throw line. His J no good. Celtics with the board. A big difference maker in this game, too. Defensive rebounding for Boston. They have really limited any second chance opportunities for the Sixers.
Another attribute to the two bigs being on the floor together.
Tatum straight on triple. He got it again! Jason Tatum with 42. He's now scored the second most in a Celtics Game 7 all time. 88-60. Inside a minute to go here in the third quarter. Maxey up top, straight on against Smart. He steps back, launches a 3, wide to the right. Reed the offensive rebound. His reverse lay-in try from right to left is no good. Tipped out of bounds off of Tatum. So Philadelphia keeps it. But you can bet in this building, somebody has suggested building a Tatum statue already.
Well, there have been a number of firsts for Jason Tatum. So if he gets to first place in a Game 7 scoring, it would be nothing new.
Still 12 and a half minutes to go in regulation. Harris from the right side drives in, blocking foul on Derek White. That's his second.
We speak about those first. Jason Tatum, the first Boston Celtics in the storied history, the tradition of this great basketball organization, the first Boston Celtics to ever average 30 points per game. And that's including the legend, Larry Bird, of course, Paul Pierce, Bill Russell, all the greats that have worn the Celtics green and white. No one has ever averaged 30 points in a game until this season, where Jason Tatum was able to do it.
Philadelphia's Tobias Harris makes both free throws. Boston 88, Philadelphia 62. Highest scoring average for the Celtics ever, Bird 29 a game all the way back in the 87-88 season, far before Jason Tatum was born. 19 seconds, third quarter. Celtics 88, Sixers 62. Tatum tries a left wing three. That was contested. Shot is no good, just a bit long. 10 seconds to go in the third. Sixers into the front court right. Maxey straight on. Zings it left for Harden, who takes one dribble right, passes right. Maxey, a drive into the lane, floating lefty try, no good. And that is how the third quarter ends. At halftime here in Boston, this was a three-point game. It was 55-52 Boston. It's now 88-62 as the Celtics outscore Philadelphia 33-10 in the third quarter. Boston 88, Philadelphia 62 at the end of the third. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Ashley's Memorial Day mattress sale is going on now. Right now, you can save $1,000 on select Sealy mattresses. Or you can get $100 instant savings on an adjustable base when you purchase an Ashley Sleep mattress valued at $499.99 or more. Don't wait another day. Give yourself the restful, rejuvenating sleep you need to be your best self this summer. Visit your local Ashley store to explore our wide selection of mattresses. Or visit Ashley.com for better sleep and savings. Only at Ashley.
Do you have low water pressure in your kitchen or bathrooms? Hi, this is Pete from Repipe Specialists. Many people don't realize that these are all symptoms of corroded pipes, and these issues will only get worse. Call Repipe Specialists.
Moving day means that you and the things that matter to you are in for a big transition. There's a lot to figure out. New closets, different counter space, change of floor plan. No worries. CubeSmart is here, so you have a place for everything. It's our job to make self-storage as easy as possible. Online or in person, this is a self-storage experience that puts the focus on you because you matter to us. With self-storage that fits seamlessly into your life, you'll have plenty of peace of mind to unpack along the way. Click now to find a self-storage solution near you.
Kevin Deutscher went to inside our Granger studio. 12 minutes to go in Game 7 in Boston.
Tatum, straight on triple. He got it again. Jason Tatum with 42. He's now scored the second most in a Celtics Game 7 all time.
Do you guys remember growing up, or even if you still do if you're younger, and you're playing football in the backyard, and you're playing two-hand touch, maybe tackle, but you have to yell, blitz, when you want to blitz the quarterback? I feel like that's what Boston just did to Philly in the third quarter. 33-10. 88-62. Boston over the Sixers. We go to the fourth at the Rockies Garden with Corey Alexander. Here's Mike Cousins.
And just how difficult of a third quarter was that for Philadelphia? Since the shot clock became a thing in the NBA, 10 points is tied for their fewest points in a playoff quarter ever. Since the start of the second quarter, Jason Tatum has just 2 fewer points than Philadelphia does. It's 33 Philadelphia, 31 for Tatum. So it's just about holding on to the lead here. 88-62 as we start the fourth. Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander with you from TD Garden. This was a 3-point game at the half in favor of Boston. Jaylen Brown, free throw line pull up, missed it short. Offensive rebound, Horford, kick out for Brogdon, a 3, no good. And same way the other end here, Philadelphia. This can be a lot of threes, Corey.
It can be that, but as crazy as it seems for the Boston Celtics, they can't play this game at this point to not lose. They've got to continue to keep their foot on the gas pedal and continue to play to win, almost as though you're wiping away the score, starting over at 0-0.
DeAnthony Melton hit a left corner 3. Jason Tatum tries to answer with a layup against Embiid. That falls short against the 7-footer. Here comes Harris into the front court to Embiid at the right wing to a dribble handoff Melton. Right elbow, goes in against Horford, passes out into the waiting arms of Jason Tatum, doing a little bit of everything here today. Tatum with 42 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. It's Tatum at the free throw line, underhand toss out Horford. He gives it up for Brogdon at the right wing. Pass into the paint. Horford hoisted up with the right, missed it. Tipped up by Brogdon, no good. And Embiid, a Philly rebound. Ahead, Harden into the front court. Sings it to the corner. Melton with a right wing triple. No. And the only one there was Tobias Harris. His tip ends up with Horford. Boston 88, Philadelphia 65. 10:35 to go in the fourth quarter. James Harden, 9 points. Joel Embiid, 13. So they've got a combined 22. Brogdon puts up a three. You can't leave him open. I don't know what happened there. 91-65, Boston.
It was just a defensive breakdown. We've seen a lot of those here in the second half for the Philadelphia 76ers, who are being affected by their lack of offense. And, of course, for a coach, that's one of the most dangerous things that can happen.
Harden gets to the basket, goes up with the left. Brown helps keep it short. 5-on-4 from right to left. Reverse lay-in in transition. It's Brogdon again. Simply put more effort into that than the Sixers did getting back down the floor, because James Harden jogged back up the floor. 5-on-4. Celtics find the open man. Timeout Philadelphia. It's 93-65. Boston over Philadelphia here in Game 7 in the fourth quarter. You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
When it comes to your health, there's nothing more important. So if you even think your testosterone level isn't where it needs to be, there's only one place to go, menstclinic.com. Hey, it's Adam, and if you've been sluggish, unmotivated, more irritable than usual, or unable to knock it out of the park in the bedroom, menstclinic.com is the place to get you back to being you. 5 convenient Houston area locations, all with friendly staffs, and you will feel the difference. Go to menstclinic.com today and tell them Adam Clanton from Sports Talk 790 sent you in.
Take a break from high interest rate credit cards with a debt consolidation loan from Primeway Federal Credit Union. At Primeway, you'll find solutions to your financial problems. If you found yourself in debt for whatever reason, do not let those high interest rates keep you from taking a break. Consolidate all of your debt into one low monthly payment at Primeway. With a low introductory rate, you'll be able to break away from your debt and see a future when you're actually debt-free. Eliminate the stress of debt now. Lock in that rate today. How? Well, visit primewayfcu.com.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Kevin with you inside our Granger studio. Start your morning. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. They're followed by Greeny each and every weekday morning, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. If you are a Sixer fan, unless something changes drastically over the final 10, I give you permission. Don't listen tomorrow. Don't do it. Sixers Twitter it's not pretty right now. My cousin's Corey Alexander. It's a 28-point Boston lead here in Game 7, under 10 to go in the fourth.
It was by that exact margin last year, one day off from today, that Boston beat Milwaukee in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. That was behind a career day from Grant Williams. They hit a Game 7 record, 22 three-pointers. And tonight it's Jason Tatum going for the Game 7 record books as we go into the fourth quarter here. Jason Tatum with 42, and he is 5 off of the best Game 7 performance ever offensively in a Celtics uniform.
But eerily similar with the fact that they had to go on the road and win a Game 6 down 3-2 to be able to get the Game 7 back on their home floor. And as you mentioned, a very similar to result to that series against Milwaukee a season ago.
Tyrese Maxey hoists a 3 from the top of the key, and a foul caught on Derek White, who looks over at Eric Lewis, the ref, and goes, what? There was a good deal of separation there between Maxey and White, his defender.
And they're actually going to go.
Steven meets the criteria for a flagrant foul for not allowing the shooter to land safely.
So that's the replay process here. 9:47 to go. Celtics 93 and the 76ers 65. You mentioned it too. Game 6 of the series. Philadelphia's got the lead. They're at home. It really seems like an opportunity. If they lose this game, it went by the wayside for them to close it out with a crowd behind them. And instead, it was a crowd leaving early.
But when you say they had a lead, the largest lead that Philadelphia had late in that game was 2 to 4 points. It was of course, Boston had a 16-point lead early in that game. Philly came back. And then, of course, it was a seesaw battle throughout the third quarter and really the beginning of the fourth quarter until Jason Tatum exploded, knocked down those 4 threes in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter of that game to blow it away. So, again, having a lead, yes, but it was not a significant lead.
Sorry.
Foul penalty 1 for not allowing the shooter to land safely and for the potential for injury. It'll be 3 shots and the ball.
Oh, rough sequence there for Derek White. I'm going to throw your own words back at you, though. At halftime, you said, hey, you only got to win by 1.
That's it. That's the concern. When you come into a scenario, it doesn't matter what sports you play. All you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that matters most. And right now, the Boston Celtics blowing this thing open in the third quarter. The lead was at 28, now at 27 with Tyrese Maxey making that first free throw.
And here comes Maxey's second. Nobody else standing around the lane as he shoots those first 2. And here comes the third as well. 93-67, Boston in front of Philadelphia. Game 7 on the line here. And the third free throw good as well with 9:47 left in the fourth quarter. And one of the things that we asked Doc Rivers in our pregame interview was, you got to beat Harden, Maxey. Are you going to be able to win if any of those guys has an off night? He was confident about it, but I don't think that he thought all of them would have off nights.
He said they could survive if one of them had an off night. I personally thought that all 3 of them had to be, above average to be able to get a win here in this environment, because we know what the stakes were and how the Boston Celtics were going to approach it, especially from a defensive standpoint.
Embiid drives to the basket left side, lays it in to make it a 23-point game. 93-70, Boston out in front. 9:20 to go. Tatum top of the key, chased by Embiid, going to the basket right side, lays it up and in. Jason Tatum's got 44, and the Celtics are back up 25, 95-70. Tyrese Maxey all the way near midcourt, guarded by White. Takes a screen to the baseline, floats it up. It's wiped away by Tatum, but it's called goaltending. He looks up at the replay monitor to have a look, but Scott Foster says he got it after it hit the glass.
Joe Mazzulla going to his bench to see if that should be challenged. Of course, 9 minutes remaining, but you have the big 23-point lead. Marcus Smart actually looked.
Timeout's been called to challenge the goaltending called on the floor.
Marcus Smart looked at Joe Mazzulla and said, don't challenge it. But the bench behind him said to challenge it. So Mazzulla going to use his challenge here, 9 minutes remaining. Most likely won't need it down the stretch. So trying to save those 2 points.
With the review, exactly 9 minutes to play in regulation. The Celtics 95 and the Sixers 72. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed.
Moving day means that you and the things that matter to you are in for a big transition. There's a lot to figure out. New closets, different counter space, change of floor plan. No worries. CubeSmart is here, so you have a place for everything. It's our job to make self-storage as easy as possible. Online or in person, this is a self-storage experience that puts the focus on you because you matter to us. With self-storage that fits seamlessly into your life, you'll have plenty of peace of mind to unpack along the way. Click now to find a self-storage solution near you.
If there's one thing we know golfers want from a driver, it's distance. But there's actually 2 things: distance and forgiveness. That's why TaylorMade designed the all-new Stealth 2 with even more carbon for even more forgiveness.
Wait, did you say forgiveness like far, or forgiveness like forgiveness?
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. I'm hearing far.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Exactly. Rory gets it. The all-new TaylorMade Stealth 2. Learn more at TaylorMadeGolf.com.
Summer's just around the corner, so when you're offering building services to your customers, why not add another string to your bow? Plungy. Plungy's patented range of award-winning prefabricated concrete pools means you don't need to be a pool builder to install one. It's fast, easy, and high quality. So expand that range of services you offer and increase your margins with Plungy. Call 855-PLUNGY. That's PLUNGIE. Or visit plungy.com.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
DQ presents The Sound of Summer Calling. Hey, it's me, Summer. I know you're busy with Beach Days Little League games and all the other fun in the sun, but you gotta get to DQ ASAP Pronto right now. The new Summer Blizzard menu is here, and it brought 5 iconic summer flavors, like new peanut butter puppy chow and s'mores. Oh yeah, it's back. Oh, that's my other line. Everyone is pumped about this new DQ Summer Blizzard menu. I gotta go. See ya, DQ. Get it in the app. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Kevin Richard with you inside our Granger studio. I want to thank all of you who logged on to our Twitter account at NBA on ESPN Radio to vote in the AutoZone in the Zone poll question. 33% of you said Joel Embiid would be the player to get in the zone tonight. It has not been the case. The answer is Jason Tatum. Tatum has got 44 points. If this holds over the final 9 minutes with Boston up 95-72, Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander, we're heading to a Mickey Mouse redo. And what that means is the final 4 teams remaining will be the exact final 4 teams we had in the bubble. And pretty much the main cast of characters will be there as well. Back to you guys.
Does it come with a character breakfast?
Of course, you would be thinking that, but you know, breakfast is my most important meal of the day, so I'm with you on that. Thank you for coming up with it.
If Kevin is involved and we can get some pancakes, that makes it a character breakfast.
I just would love to see the studio camera on Kevin Winter right now. And the way that he is reacting, especially in the third quarter.
Noted Boston sports fan Kevin Winter.
When
yes.
Jason Tatum goes off, I want to see how many times he actually jumped out of his chair.
So we're back underway. The challenge by Joe Mazzulla, the Boston head coach, was unsuccessful. Wanted to challenge goaltending against Tatum. Tatum goes the other way, gets the lay-in right out of the timeout. 46 points. His next field goal will give him the most points by a Celtics player ever in a Game 7. Embiid from the top of the key, dribbling to his right. Drops it off with Harris, who takes a left-handed dribble to the free throw line, to the block, lays it up, and scores 97-74. Boston with 8:27 to go in the fourth quarter.
Now, let me give you a caveat to that. In a play-in game, Jason Tatum scored 50 points on the
Not
floor.
the playoffs.
I know it's not the playoffs. However, it's also not the regular season. When will they make that change in the rule?
Magical mystery land of the play-in round. Tatum back to the basket, goes up, and he's fouled by Maxey, who was more so hugging Tatum's arm than making a play on the ball there. And Tatum goes to the free throw line with 8:08 to go in the fourth, and 46 points on the night.
What Jason Tatum's done a great job of throughout this entire game is taking advantage of the mismatch. When they put smaller players on him, he's gone to the post. He's played physical on offense and gotten himself to the free throw line. By the way, he just made a free throw to tie the Boston Celtics record for most points scored in a Game 7.
1963, Sam Jones had 47. Tatum has 47, and with his free throw, he has 48, the most by a Celtics player ever in a Game 7, and still 8 minutes to go. Although the way this is going, he may not be on the floor for far too many of them. 99-74 Boston. Embiid right wing into a dribble handoff to Harden. Picks up his dribble at the top of the key. Chest pass left to Tobias Harris. 5 to shoot. Harris to the free throw line. Right block fadeaway jumper is good. Tobias Harris makes it 99-76.
And I'm not sure that this will be a game that Joe Mazzulla nor Doc Rivers goes to their bench to clean up, at least until under 6 minutes remaining in this game. And that may be a bit much. Of course, with it being a Game 7, there's nothing to save your players for, right?
Tatum in the right side corner, guarded by Embiid. A three is good. Jason Tatum holds up 5 with the right and a fist with the left. He's got 51 points.
Yeah, he needed to put up one finger with the other side. He was one off as he and Embiid get mixed up under the basket right now.
We will forgive the mathematical mistake from Jason Tatum.
No, I won't. I'm not forgiving it. I'm having a conversation with him after this. You got 51, young fella. Don't put it up. And let me tell you this. Former Boston Celtics, you may not remember him as such, Rasheed Wallace texted me earlier and said he's getting 54 in this game.
Well, Sheed might have sold him short. 3 missed from Harris in the left angle, rebounded by Embiid, whips it back up top for Harris, who misses another 3. Horford grabs his 8th rebound of the night, and here come the Celtics on the move. Brown looking to pass underneath to Horford. It's tipped away, stolen by Maxey. 6:50 to go, 102-76. Hard foul or contact to Melton, whose layup is no good. He goes to the deck. Tatum, top of the key, front court left. To the right for Brogdon, a 3. Swirls around and out. Embiid crouches as he brings down the rebound. 102-76 Boston here in Game 7. 6:30 to play. Crowd, many on their feet. Embiid, right wing, a 3 over Horford. Short, wide to the left. Tatum's got the board. He flicks his wrist with a bounce pass up the right sideline for Brogdon, who takes over at the point here. Quick chest pass left for Brown. And Joe Mazzulla looking to spread the offense out, brings his arms out wide. Dump down to Brogdon at the free throw line, gives it back to Brown, who soars. Out for Tatum, another 3. No good. Offensive board. Brogdon straight on. Now inside 6 minutes to go. 10 on the shot clock. Brogdon drives on the left side, up with the right, and scores as he blows by Maxey. 104-76 Boston.
The lead back to 28 points for the Boston Celtics. And I'm expecting to see the white flag being waved as Marcus Smart comes up with a huge block. Once again, denying Anthony Melton has not stopped playing at all.
Swatted him from behind. Near side corner, Jaylen Brown has the ball, puts it on the deck, 10 to shoot. And it's knocked away by Melton. On out of bounds, last touch by Brown is what the officials say. 5:25 fourth quarter. 104-76 Celtics. Harden at the high left angle, works against Horford. Drops off left block. And Tobias Harris goes up for an uncontested finish to make it 104-78. Tatum coming up the floor. So the most intriguing part of these final 5 minutes, Tatum watch. 51 points, 6 of 10 from 3, shooting 17 of 28. He gives to Marcus Smart at the right elbow. Bounce feed to Brown, who goes up for a huge right-handed jam. Missed it, but a foul is called underneath the basket on Philadelphia's Tobias Harris.
And that foul would not have been called if Jaylen Brown finishes that dunk. But because he misses it and is unable to get to the full height of his jump, it is actually called a foul oftentimes. As the scoreboard shows that Jason Tatum, with his 51 points today, has now scored an NBA Game 7 record. Not just a Boston Celtics record, but the entire NBA in the history of this game, the most points ever scored in a Game 7.
This is the 77th season of the NBA. Today is the 147th Game 7 in the history of the association, and no one has scored more points in a Game 7 than 24-year-old Jason Tatum with 51 here this afternoon.
And when you ever think about playoff records, of course, LeBron James holds a lot of overall records, but you go back to the greatest player to ever play the game, Michael Jordan, who never played in a Game 7, by the way.
Said he didn't have to.
Exactly.
Philadelphia with another missed shot and empty offensive possession, 4:35 to go. So the question now is, as Boston starts to think about their series with Miami, when do the starters come out of the game?
I believe the next dead ball, the timeout, will be the end for Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, and Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think these guys will come back out onto the floor.
Brogdon a missed layup. Maxey misses a Philadelphia 3. It's 106-78, 4:10 to go. A slow walk from right to left for Jaylen Brown across midcourt. Crowd rising as one, a sellout of 19,156 here on this Sunday afternoon in Boston, Massachusetts. Brown against Harden. 4 on the shot clock. Brown with a long pull-up. Why not? That's just the type of day it's been. It's 108-78. Timeout. 30-point lead is the largest of the day. History tonight here in Boston. 51 from Jason Tatum. Marcus Smart stands on the far sideline, pumping up the crowd, and there's not much else to do here in these final 3 minutes and 52 seconds, except write an obituary for the Sixers and look ahead for the Celtics.
And we've talked about this rivalry is the most frequently played Game 7 matchup in NBA history between these two teams. And adding insult to injury, Jaylen Brown, after going to the mid-range to pull up, knocking down the shot, runs down the floor, letting the entire crowd know that James Harden is too small to guard him.
Today's attendance, 19,156. That's a full house. That number is brought to you by Vivid Seats, where you earn rewards with every purchase. Vivid Seats Rewards is your ticket to more tickets. Vivid Seats, life happens live. Well, this is the 8th Game 7 between the Celtics and the Sixers. Boston has won 5 of the previous 7. And in NBA history, no team has a better winning percentage in Game 7 than the Celtics, who will improve to 27-9 in Game 7s. And as they break the timeout here, Philadelphia has gone a little bit further down the bench, but Boston has not entirely gone further down the bench. Luke Cornett is out onto the floor. Jason Tatum is also still out there, along with Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, and Marcus Smart. So it's Cornett, the big fella, against Paul Reed. Furkan Korkmaz, the 6th year out of Turkey, off the bench for Philadelphia for only the 3rd playoff game this postseason. He stopped at the rim. Jaylen Brown still going to work, top of the key. All is poked away. He's got 10 to shoot, 3:25 to play. Boston leads by 30, 108-78. And it looks like a foul called.
They're going to get Jaden Springer for that one. Yeah, Jaden Springer pushing down Jaylen Brown as he goes to set the screen. And now Joe Mazzulla will get the starters off the floor. He wanted to make sure they had an opportunity to get their righteous due with their standing ovation.
They just showed his mom, Brandy, here, the native of St. Louis, a star in high school at Chaminade Prep, a star at Duke, and has taken over here in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Malcolm Brogdon, a line drive triple, rattles in and out.
You mean they show Brandy? Did they show Deuce?
You know he's going to be on TV.
Because I was about to say, that's the true star. You want to talk about the Deuce is the star. Jason is second.
That's Jason Tatum's son. Daniel House with a layup at the other end. 108-80, 2:55 to go.
Joe Mazzulla going to go one by one to get his stars off the floor. Jaylen Brown most likely coming out next as my God, Sam Hauser, Wahoo Wah, is at the scorer's table ready to check in.
University of Virginia graduate. On a drive, House to the basket, stuffs it with the right hand, uncontested. I like that move by Mazzulla as well, to do it one by one.
Allow these guys to get their due. Again, they redeemed themselves. This is a team that was booed in the third quarter of Game 5 here less than a week ago. And they have shown up in a big way here this afternoon to find a way to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Brown backing down right side of the lane, fades away, turns and scores. 25 points for Jaylen Brown, which will be overshadowed by an NBA Game 7 record 51 from Jason Tatum. But that is a heck of an afternoon for Jaylen Brown, who scored 25 or more now 6 times in the postseason. He goes to the bench. Hauser checks in. Pritchard is in for Marcus Smart. The bench is officially emptying out here for the Boston Celtics. Here comes Champagnie off the bench as well. With 2:04 to go. 110-82 Boston. If you left this game at halftime and have just returned, you would not believe the way that things played out. It was 55-52 Celtics at the half. They outscored Philadelphia 33-10 in the third quarter. And really, in retrospect, here is Champagnie lays it in off the feed from Williams. The game was over with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
It absolutely was. And Jason Tatum happened at that point. The 25 points in the first half was not enough to separate the Celtics from the Sixers. But what he did in the third quarter was a difference maker for the Boston Celtics. And again, you go back to really 7 quarters ago, Jason Tatum struggled to get a field goal in the first quarter and even in the first half of Game 6. Didn't make his first field goal until the third quarter of Game 6. Erupted in the fourth quarter, and that confidence, of course, came right back. And here we see what he was able to do today.
Paul Reed at the line hits the first free throw. We now pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by Indeed. A pleasure to have you with us this Sunday, Game 7 in Boston. Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander, a minute 19 to go as the Celtics lead 112-84. And the crowd chanting, hey, hey, goodbye to the Philadelphia 76ers, the number 3 seed in the East. And we got a whistle with 1:07 to go. And a blocking foul called against Daniel House of Philadelphia. Well, you look at the box score for Philadelphia. Their leading scorer today, Tobias Harris with 19, then Tyrese Maxey with 17, then Joel Embiid with 15, and James Harden, 9 points.
If you go back and revisit our keys from the beginning of this broadcast, it was simply that the Sixers had to have all 3 of their big 3 show up, and the Celtics had to make at least 15 threes. The Celtics are 15 of 30 from beyond the arc.
Peyton Pritchard got pickpocketed as the shot clock expired. Springer goes the other way, dunks it. 112-86, just a couple possessions remain. 45 seconds left as Grant Williams, who did not play Thursday in Game 6, is onto the floor here. He will just dribble this thing until the shot clock hits 0.
Joe Mazzulla telling him to actually go ahead and play because, again, there will be another possession for the Celtics to dribble out the clock.
And a funny moment in that last timeout as well. We got owners row off to our right here. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft sitting just 2 seats down from one of the many owners of the Celtics, who during the timeout was just chatting up Joe Mazzulla, your boss, coming over for a late game pep talk.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it, especially when you've got a 26-point lead with 15 seconds remaining.
Shot clock is off. Springer above the right elbow. And the jumper is pure with 13.6 to go. 112-88. And the Celtics control for the final time at midcourt. Doc Rivers, Joe Mazzulla embracing a hug for Rivers. This is how year 24 as a head coach ends. And for Mazzulla, year number 1, a rocket ship ride continues all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. The final score at TD Garden, the Boston Celtics 112 and the Philadelphia 76ers 88.
And this is the part I love most. After a hard-fought series, so much physical basketball, tempers flaring, you get an opportunity to see both these competitive teams get together, give each other hugs, talk it up, and wish each other luck moving forward. But we've seen some special performances throughout this playoffs, maybe none more spectacular than the 51 points Game 7 record, which was only about 2 weeks old because Steph Curry just broke the record against the Sacramento Kings in the first round series for the Golden State Warriors. So Jason Tatum one-upping Steph Curry here this evening.
Momentarily, we're going to be joined by Jaylen Brown of Boston, who finished with a phenomenal 25 points to go along with 6 rebounds, a couple assists. We mentioned on the Philadelphia side when Maxey has a huge three-pointing shooting game, that's when Philadelphia has won. Jaylen Brown has been a harbinger of success as well for Boston. This is now the 6th playoff game for him this postseason where he scored at least 25, and Boston is 5-1 in those games. Brown right now at midcourt, locked in a long hug and a conversation with Tyrese Maxey. It was not long ago that Brown was in Maxey's shoes as the young up-and-comer in the NBA. This is year 7 for Jaylen Brown. Maxey just finished his 3rd season.
Yes, and again, the embrace between Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, getting an opportunity to see these two guys talk it up, as well as Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid. Tremendous amount of respect from each and every one of these players. And, of course, as they always compete. But what I love most is seeing Marcus Smart doing a jersey swap. I can't see whose jersey it actually is, but doing a jersey swap here on the playoff floor.
Well, you got to do it now. It gets a little bit harder once everybody goes their separate ways for the postseason. And this continues a great run for the Celtics, who have now won 4 straight game sevens. Going back to 2018 was their last loss, and they won 2 last year. They did it in the Eastern Conference semis against Milwaukee. They did it in the Eastern Conference finals against the Heat on the road, and they do it here to set up a rematch with the Miami Heat.
And I did find out who the jersey swap was with.
Yes?
It was with the other great player from Texas. It was Tyrese Maxey. So it was Marcus Smart and Tyrese Maxey. We talked about the matchup between those guys who both at one point were the best players from the state of Texas coming out of high school, and they had the jersey swap happen here after this 7-game series.
When the jersey swaps and the daps and handshakes, hugs and high fives are all done, Jaylen Brown will be joining us momentarily here from TD Garden after a 112-88 Boston Celtics victory. As he comes over to put on the headset, Jaylen Brown, all smiles here on ESPN Radio. My cousin's Corey Alexander along with Jaylen Brown. You've said it since you were in high school. Faith, consistency, hard work pays off. What happened today?
Today was a manifestation of that. We felt like we were the better team, and we dropped some games early in the series. And tonight, the crowd got behind us. We guarded our ass off, and we came out and was able to get a little storm going, and they couldn't recover.
JB, you didn't wear the mask in Game 6. You came back with the mask to start this one. Then you take it off, and, of course, as soon as you take it off, you get hit in the face. What are you thinking? Of course, I know you're in pain, but as you're on the ground.
My nose starts bleeding, but, hey, I'll take it. Whatever it is you got to do to win, you got to do it.
Coming into this game, both of you in Philadelphia had won 2 games on the road. How much did this atmosphere here today factor into your success?
I think it was everything. When our energy is like this, the crowd is like this, we feed off of it. You can hear him in the background right now, and the game is over. To be able to energize us, to help us get stops when we get tired, we need that. I called the Garden out, and they responded, and we need that going forward.
Jayla, how important was it for you guys to really get back here after that Game 5 performance and redeem yourselves from what happened in that game? And, of course, where, you actually got a couple of boo birds from this crowd.
Yeah, we came out flat, and we probably deserved some of those. We came out a little bit flat, but, we was able to respond, bounce back, get a big win in Game 6. JT, 2 great back-to-back performances, and now we go into the Eastern Conference Finals.
How do you feel about taking on Miami?
We familiar with them. I guess it's the trilogy, right? Played them. It's the 3rd time playing in the Eastern Conference Finals, so it should be fun.
All right, Jaylen Brown, thanks so much.
All right, thank you, guys.
Jaylen Brown at 25 points in a victorious effort here tonight. Boston Celtics eliminate the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're on for us. Jaylen Brown, maybe he's already got some headlines set up there, the trilogy.
You know what? I love it. But he's a very intelligent young man. He's already been thinking about this. And, of course, he's already titled it the trilogy. And you think back to the bubble where these two teams went at it in the Eastern Conference Finals, then last season. So now, like you said, the trilogy to see who gets an opportunity to represent the East in the NBA Finals.
Now, speaking of threes, they hit 15 of them today and route to a 112-88 win. Jason Tatum, a Game 7 record, 51 points. For Corey Alexander, our producer Mike Martino, our engineer Paul Schrager, I'm Mike Cousins saying so long from Boston. We're going to have to go get our hearing checked after this one. Loud here today at TD Garden. Let's send it to Kevin Winter in the studio with a postgame show.
Gentlemen, great job. We will have a bubble conference final rematch in each conference. Lakers Nuggets Game 1 Tuesday night. It'll be on ESPN Radio, ESPN Television has every game of the West. Game 1 in the East will be back at TD Garden. It will be right here on ESPN Radio Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time for both games, for both series. Reminder, ESPN Radio is your home from here on out. Every single game of the conference finals and NBA finals heard exclusively on ESPN Radio. The NBA on ESPN Radio has been presented by Indeed. Need to hire? You need Indeed.com/credit. Kevin Winter with you inside our studio. Your final score tonight in Game 7. Boston wins 112-88. The difference in the game, a 33-10 third quarter. Jason Tatum was otherworldly, a Game 7 record, 51 points. But also, there's one play that changed the momentum. We'll give that to you next and run through some of Tatum's highlights. We'll let you hear from Jason Tatum. We'll also take most of you to coverage of Sunday Night Baseball, which is also in Boston. It's the Cardinals and the Boston Red Sox. Boston advances with the 112-88. They win Game 7. Celtics in the Heat on Wednesday night in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight year. This is the NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
Moving day means you're in for a big transition. CubeSmart makes self-storage as easy as possible. Online or in person, we put the focus on you. Click now to find a self-storage solution near you.
Notice that rain is coming in through the window. Notice your electric bills are higher than they used to be. Notice you can hear the dogs barking from 2 doors over, or the traffic, or the train. All of those and many more reasons you need new windows from GulfCoastWindows.com. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Dial pound 250 and say Gulf Coast Windows. Pound 250 and Gulf Coast Windows.
Brian Lalima here for Men's T Clinic. Fellas, are you feeling sluggish, not in tune with yourself, not getting that pump in the gym anymore because you feel like you've hit a wall or a plateau? Well, go get your testosterone levels checked at Men's T Clinic at 5 different locations here in Houston. While you're there, look into the other services like IV drip therapy, peptide therapy, libido, muscle mass, and so much more. Check them out online at menstclinic.com and start fine-tuning your body today with Men's T Clinic.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
This is the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Kevin with you inside our Granger studio. Here comes Harden from right to left. The Sixers in the lead by 8. His layup with the left, no good, and knocked away. I say he turned it over as he collided with Jaylen Brown, who is down under the left side basket, holding his face. That is not good news, because you remember February 8th against Philadelphia was when he injured his face. That was a collision with his own teammate, Jason Tatum, and he wore the mask in the first quarter. He took it off here in the second. He is still laying in front of the bright green basket stanchion at the left side.
That happened in the second quarter. James Harden was also given a flagrant foul. Boston was about to go down 10. Instead, a 4-point possession, a steal, a basket. You're down 2, 39-37. Timeout, Doc. This game was never the same since. Our game flow brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Tatum, top of the key, takes a Williams screen left, gets to the left elbow, turns his back to the basket, keeps his dribble alive, bullies his way in against Maxey, shoots and scores. Jason Tatum, unstoppable, 22 points. Passes back for Tatum, takes a dribble to his left, pull up, left wing three in the air, good! 25 first half points for Jason Tatum. Boston is alive. The Celtics 55 and the Sixers 52.
That's our score at halftime. The 25 for Tatum, the second most in any half in a Game 7 in Celtic playoff history. Paul Pierce scored 26 back in 2008. 3-point game at the half, right? This is going to be an awesome second half. This is going to be outstanding. It was for one fan base.
Tatum at the free throw line against Embiid. Dribbles to the near side corner. 10 on the shot clock. Tatum one-on-one. Step back. Shoots over Embiid. And scores. Now 30 points for Jason Tatum. Test pass back up between the circles for Tatum. Takes a slow dribble to his right. Crossover left. Takes a ball screen left from Williams. Top of the key three over Embiid. Oh, he can't be stopped tonight. Jason Tatum's got 33, and it's a 10-0 Boston run. Tatum pulls up for three. Got it again. 38 points for Jason Tatum. He stands at midcourt, waving his right hand up and down, getting the crowd to their feet as well. Boston 73, Philadelphia 58. Timeout Sixers. Tatum had the matchup he wanted, one-on-one. He gets it to Brown, top of the key three. Good! They sent the double team over to Jason Tatum. He kicked it away after being guarded by Embiid, and this time Jaylen Brown makes Philadelphia pay. Tatum straight on triple. He got it again! Jason Tatum with 42. He's now scored the second most in a Celtics Game 7 all time.
That's our three-pointer of the game, brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union, proud to serve members of the Armed Forces, DOD, veterans and their families. Our members are the mission. Learn more at NavyFederal.org. In the third quarter, it was a serialistic nightmare for the Philadelphia 76ers. They get outscored 33-10. Jason Tatum goes ballistic, and he wasn't done.
And Tatum goes to the free throw line with 8:08 to go in the fourth. and 46 points on the night.
He just made a free throw to tie the Boston Celtics record for most points scored in a Game 7.
1963, Sam Jones had 47. Tatum has 47, and with his free throw, he has 48, the most by a Celtics player ever in a Game 7. Tatum in the right side corner, guarded by Embiid. A three is good. Jason Tatum holds up 5 with the right and a fist with the left. He's got 51 points.
Yeah, he needed to put up one finger with the other side. He was one off as he and Embiid get mixed up under the basket right now.
We will forgive the mathematical mistake from Jason Tatum.
No, I won't. I'm not forgiving it. I'm having a conversation with him after this. You got 51, young fella.
2 weeks ago, we had Game 7, Kings-Warriors. Steph Curry dropped the 50-burger on the road in Sacramento. Jason Tatum, 2 weeks later, scores 51. It's your Getting It Done Play the Game, brought to you by Grainger. Winning on the court and on the job takes teamwork. Put Grainger on your team for supplies and solutions for every industry. Find your winning edge at Grainger.com. In the end, Tatum for 51, Brown for 25. Boston hammers Philadelphia 112-88. Up next on the NBA Tonight postgame show, we will hear from Jason Tatum with Lisa Salters. That's next. This is the NBA Playoffs on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
If your partner snores and you're sleeping in the other bedroom every night, come out to Gallery Furniture and check out Tempur-Pedic mattresses and Tempur-Pedic Ergo Smart Base that responds to snoring to help alleviate the problem. If your partner snores, you're sleeping in the other bedroom, come out to Gallery Furniture, check out this incredible Tempur-Pedic mattress, winning the J.D. Powers Award for Best Mattress Retail 3 out of the last 4 years. Check out the Ergo Smart Base that responds to snoring, and you both will start sleeping better tonight.
Well, I started my own restaurant because I love to cook, but that also means a lot of greasy pots and pans. And we can't waste time with endless sink changeovers. So we upgraded to Dawn Professional Pot and Pan.
Dawn Professional cleans 58% more pots and pans per sink than the leading competitor.
Less dish soap, fewer changeovers, and more time doing what we love.
Dawn Professional. It's clean. Upgraded. From P&G Professional.
Hey, it's Matt Thomas here to tell you about Woodhouse Day Spas, the place to go to get rejuvenated, to get refreshed, and to feel alive with 70 different spa services in 3 Houston area locations. Go to woodhousespas.com to find the location nearest you. Over 70 different spa services like manicures, pedicures, deep tissue massages, and sleep treatments. For the gift of relaxation that works 365, it's woodhousespas.com. That's woodhousespas.com.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You're listening to the NBA on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Tatum pulls up for 3. Got it again! 38 points for Jason Tatum. He stands at midcourt, waving his right hand up and down, getting the crowd to their feet as well. Boston 73, Philadelphia 58. Timeout Sixer. Tatum straight on triple. He got it again! Jason Tatum with 42. He's now scored the second most in a Celtics Game 7 all time. Tatum in the right side corner, guarded by Embiid. A 3 is good. Jason Tatum holds up 5 with the right and a fist with the left. He's got 51 points.
That is a new Game 7 record. The calls, Mike Cousins, Corey Alexander, who called Game 7 this afternoon here on ESPN Radio. Kevin Winter with you for the final time inside our Grainger studio. Boston absolutely punks Philadelphia 112-88, a 33-10 scoring differential. In the third quarter is the difference. Tatum finishes with 51, and he speaks with Miss Lisa Salters.
Jason, the crowd let you know how they felt about your performance today. You seemed to soak it all in. Just tell me what that moment felt like for you.
I felt great, right? This was a back-and-forth series. Obviously, I didn't play well the first half last game.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I was just happy to get another opportunity to bounce back. right, and come back home. Game 7 on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, especially my mom. So I had to put on a special performance for her.
For you, like you said, the season was hanging in the balance until your fourth quarter in Game 6, and now this performance today. Just what was your mindset coming into this game?
Bounce back, right, and find a way to win. Game 7 is all about win or go home. I played in my fair share of them, and we know it was going to be tough and competitive, and we stuck together and we figured it out, and we just kept rolling, and that was a good one to win.
As much as you put on a show offensively, can you describe the impact that Al Horford had defensively going up against the MVP?
Yeah, he's obviously the MVP for a reason, and that's a team effort. And Al did a tremendous job. Smart, big Rob, and just trying to wear him down, right? Show him different looks. You give him the same look, it's going to be tough, but just try to make it as tough as possible and limit them to one shot.
We're not going to let you celebrate too long. We're already looking ahead to the Western Conference Finals rematch. Just what are you looking forward to most in that series?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be competitive. It's our third time and 4 years playing them in the conference finals, so I'm looking forward to it. But I know we beat the Sixers today. I got a special shout out to Kevin Hart. I want him to still answer my phone call after the day. No hard feelings.
Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics, the NBA Game 7 record 51 points. Boston rolls 112-88. If you have listened to me when I'm with you on NBA Countdown through over the course of the years, you've heard me refer to the best individual game performance I've ever seen a player play. Was LeBron James, June 7th, 2012. The Heat go into Boston down 3-2, and LeBron goes for 45 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists on 19 of 26 shooting. Doc Rivers was asked about Jason Tatum's game today, and he said Tatum's game is second only in playoff history to that LeBron James game in 2012. Keyshawn J. Willimax, full recap of tomorrow morning for Boston's win. And now what the heck happens next for the Philadelphia 76ers? Reminder, we are back with you for the NBA on ESPN Radio. We begin our exclusive coverage of the conference finals. Tuesday night, we'll start our coverage with the NBA draft lottery, and then we will have game 1 of the West between the Lakers and the Nuggets, and then Wednesday night will be in the East, Celtics and the Heat at TD Garden, 8 p.m. Eastern time every night for the NBA's conference finals. We'll send most of you to coverage of Sunday Night Baseball. Final score for the final time in round 2 in Boston. Celtics win 112-88. Our entire crew, we'll talk to you guys on Tuesday night as we're down to the final 4. This is the NBA playoffs on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Moving day means you're in for a big transition. CubeSmart makes self-storage as easy as possible. Online or in person, we put the focus on you. Click now to find a self-storage solution near you.
It's no secret that when someone stinks, it's all you remember about them.
Oh, is that you?
Oh, no, not now.
Don't worry, I got you. Try this.
And it's by Secret?
Yeah, Secret aluminum-free deodorant. It gets rid of those stinky PU pits instead of covering them up. Just wipe and you're fresh all day. Secret actually works, even aluminum-free.
Don't let be what people remember. Get your Secret in sticks or sprays.
Brian Lalima here for Men's T Clinic. Fellas, are you feeling sluggish, not in tune with yourself, not getting that pump in the gym anymore because you feel like you've hit a wall or a plateau? Well, go get your testosterone levels checked at Men's T Clinic at 5 different locations here in Houston. While you're there, look into the other services like IV drip therapy, peptide therapy, libido, muscle mass, and so much more. Check them out online at menstclinic.com and start fine-tuning your body today with Men's T Clinic.
At D&M Leasing, you've heard them on the radio for years, but we have a very important announcement from D&M. Number 1, new car prices are at an all-time high, payments are out of control, and leasing can save you up to 50% on payments. Do I have your attention yet? Number 2, new vehicle technology and safety are important to new car buyers. Number 3, with our Easy Lease, you receive features and benefits you can't get anywhere else. And number 4, with over $1 billion of leases on the road today, our loyal customers continue to get world-class service. Number 5, with every lease renewal, loyal customers can get retention benefits and savings. Call D&M Leasing.
In baseball, it's every day, and you just got to turn the page.
Yeah, we got our horse in the 9th inning. He's the closer, and everybody works hard to get the lead in the 9th and give the ball to Kenley. It didn't happen the last 2 days, but it happened 9 times before that he closed the game. We hate losing. We don't like it, but I think it's a little bit easier to swallow when it's like that because you did everything, up to that point to win the ball game. It just didn't happen. He's going to save more than the ones he's going to blow. So we understand that. We got other capable guys that can, help him out, like tonight. And we're in a good spot. If you do what you got to do for 9 innings, most of the time we're going to win games.
As a guy who, when you played the major leagues, impacted younger players, how much do you enjoy as a manager getting an opportunity to impact guys like Duran, Casas?
It's cool. It's a different group. There was a group here from 18 all the way to last year that it's about, helping them out in a different way. This group, we got to teach them. We got to mold them to what we want. And at the same time, go out there and perform. They're good players, but we got a chance here to set the tone, not only for this year, but for the future of the organization with these kids. And I think our coaching staff is doing an amazing job. Player development has been amazing. I'm having a lot of fun.
And you call upon friends, right? Guys like Dustin Pedroia to make an impact to help out as well.
Pedroia, Mitch Moreland, Rick Porcello. I mean, that's something that we try to do this spring training. It was very important for us to bring Mikey Lowe to talk to Rafi Devers and the rest of them. And I think the message, without talking about it, it was the same, consistent in this city. You got to cancel the noise. You got to show up. You got to be accountable and play hard. And so far, we've been doing that.
You got to tell the people the Mike Lowe story. There's a pop-up on the left side every time Mike Lowe would call you off and catch it and say what? Fielding percentage?
Right, fielding percentage. Now they call it points. They call it points now. They're going for points, but fielding percentage. That's why he led he's the best third baseman in fielding percentage in the history of the game because he was stealing my pop-ups.
Great to see, AC. Thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Let's send it back to Jim Basketball.
That's a great story right there. They touched on Rafi Devers playing his 40th game tonight, 21 extra base hits, 36 knocked in. He's the first Red Sox player since David Ortiz in 2016 with 20 extra base hits and 35-plus RBIs through 40 games, tied for fourth in the bigs with 11 home runs, second in RBIs, 9 knocked in over his last 8 games. That's your stat of the day, brought to you by Gorilla for the toughest jobs on planet Earth. Coming up next on Baseball Tonight, presented by Grainger, David Cohn joins us to discuss the struggles both staffs have had, Boston and St. Louis. That's on deck. This is Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
NFL tickets are here. Score great deals on great seats from our friends at Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Every tackle, every pass, every heart-pounding play. Experience it all live and in person. From the first down to the final whistle, Vivid Seats has a huge selection of tickets for the upcoming season, and they're the only ticket company that rewards you for purchasing. For the best selection of 2023 tickets, shop now. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
At the United States Postal Service, we're reinventing our network to help keep your business moving. With new shipping options to deliver better value, greater flexibility to conveniently reach your customers, more confident shipping with new informed delivery features, and new electric vehicles for a cleaner, brighter future. Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/moving forward.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Scott for Scots here. A good track can feed the soul. And while this might be music from the heavens, it's not gonna feed your lawn. If your yard needs some life, then you need Scott's Turf Builder. You just put it down once now, then again this summer to thicken your lawn and get it growing strong. Ooh, that's some lush lawn vibes right there.
Get a bag of Scott's Turf Builder today. It's guaranteed or your money back.
Feed your lawn. Feed it.
To my newborn baby boy, the day you arrived was one of the happiest days of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV from that guy on the internet and insured it with Progressive. What a deal. Just know, son, I'll always be here for you. And by here, I mean in the middle of absolutely nowhere. In my RV.
Protect your baby with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Success is picking up extra shifts for your family. Now you want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. For more than 75 years, we've been transforming lives by helping working adults like you expand their skills, move up, or start a new career. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. Apply to UMGC by May 31st. We'll waive your application fee. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid courses for more than 125 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates. Take advantage of faster onboarding, success coaches, lifetime career services, and more. Achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get moving forward. No application fee through May 31st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chev.
This is Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Basketball back on baseball tonight, presented by Granger, taking you to first pitch for the Cardinals and Red Sox series finale from Fenway Park. These teams played against each other in 4 World Series, 1946, 1967, 2004, 2013. Cardinals won those first 2 each in 7 games. Red Sox swept in 2004, ending that epic drought without a championship, and then 1 and 6 in 2013. 14 Hall of Famers from those World Series teams. David Ortiz, the only one of the 14 who played in 2 of those series. More around the bigs today. Pirates and O's. Bucks get a mound jam and just enough offense today as Pittsburgh got it done.
From the stretch, the pitch. Ground ball right side and through the right side. Sawinski scores. Hayes scores. Ji-Hwan Bae, a 2-run single. And would you believe the Pirates are leading 4-0.
Mitch Keller, though, back to by that offense, struck out a career-high 13 over 7 innings. That was Sports Radio 93.7. The Fan. Pirates won for only the second time in 13 games, 4-0 over the O's. Marlins and Reds.
Here's the 1-1 offering. And he swings and lines it through the right side to base hit. This is going to be extra bases for Garrett Cooper. The Marlins take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Cooper is rounding first. He'll glide into second. He plates Garrett Hampson from third. It's the Marlins 2 and the Reds 1 here in the 7th.
940 WINZ was just activated off the injured list. Garrett Cooper, 2 hits, drove in a 1. Brian Dela Cruz, double twice, single. Marlins avoid the 3-game sweep against Cincinnati 3-1. They are winners, snapping a 5-game skid. First of 2 for the Mets and Nats.
Leone fires. Swinging a high drive, deep right center field. Nimmo going back to the warning track, to the wall, and it's gone. And the Nationals are back in front just like that.
Nationals Radio Network. C.J. Abrams, your game-winning blow. 3-2, finishing off that suspended game. Alex Cole made a pair of outstanding defensive plays in the night to preserve that Washington win. Mets in the 6th, up 8-1. Max Scherzer did go 5, 2 hits allowed for New York. Let's bring in Baseball Tonight analyst David Cohn, who will be part of the ESPN call for the series finale for the Cards and Red Sox tonight. David, these 2 teams, Boston and St. Louis, 2 of the 6 worst starting pitcher ERAs in baseball. Cardinals ERA, franchise 2nd worst through 40 games since 1913. Red Sox 3rd worst since 1913. From what you've seen, what's behind the problems for both these starting staffs?
Well, yeah, the only thing I can talk to you about is my own career at the end when I was in my upper 30s and my skills started to diminish overnight, seemingly. And it's a hard thing to adjust to. And you kind of grasp at straws a little bit. You're looking for excuses. And certainly on the Cardinals side, it looks like they're trying to blame their catcher.
Yeah.
So, with Contreras, the new guy in town, so that's an easy target. I did the same thing with Jorge Posada and the Yankees back in the year 2000, and it was not Jorge Posada's fault. It was my own fault. my own coming to terms with diminished skills and hanging sliders. I think that's a hard thing to face when you get to be an older pitcher and you see your stuff diminish overnight.
Now, David, the American League East, a division you know all too well. You've been around the Yankees. This is the only division with every team above 500. Characterize what you've seen top to bottom with this division, and if you think it's sustainable.
I really do think it's sustainable. I really feel like the Boston Red Sox were the team that was going to be the last place team this year in the American League East.
They currently are.
and but they're still over 500.
Yeah,
they're still a bit of a surprise. And you just take the collective winning percentage of the American League East and compare it to anybody else. There's nobody close. So, yes, the wild cards are probably going to come out of the East. I do believe it's sustainable because we've seen Baltimore come on.
True.
They have a great young nucleus. Adley Rutschman is a game changer. He is a franchise player that can turn the fortunes around. He is currently doing that. He's got help and more on the way. So, yeah, and you look at Toronto, we've watched them. That young nucleus, that offense is lethal. Chapman's having a career year in his free agent walk year. We know Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is great. Bichette's on top of his game. They are a fantastic offense with new dimensions up in Toronto, by the way. That ballpark's a little shorter in right center, really tailor-made for their lineup. So they're dangerous without a doubt. And Tampa is the team that nobody wants to believe. You can't. Where did this come from? This offensive surge. We knew they could pitch. We know they find relievers everywhere. No names that all of a sudden are throwing sweepers, breaking 10 feet, and they're all successful. But the offense is the story in Tampa. I think it is sustainable because it's 1 through 9. It's not one guy having a career year. They're all hitting the ball in the air. They're all hitting the ball over the wall. You can talk about schedule, maybe as they start facing better teams that they'll come back down to earth a little bit. But good teams beat the bad teams. And that's the name of the game every year, and they're doing it.
Yeah, and they're always good. They're always good. St. Louis, meantime, has won 5 of 6. Ultimately, are you expecting the Cream to rise to the top and the Cardinals to be near the top of the NL Central by the back end of the season?
I do expect them to make a run and turn it around. I do expect them to play better and in particular catch the ball a little bit better defensively once they get their outfield sorted around and who plays where. But the problem is that when you dig the hole so deep that your hot streak is wasted on getting back to 500.
Yep.
We've seen this so many times in the past. If you can hang around 500, then get your hot streak, and now you go. Now you're 10 games over 500. You're in the stretch run in September. If they have to waste that streak to get back to 500, they still have some work to do.
Yeah, and they've won 5 of 6, so maybe that streak has begun for St. Louis. Coming up next on Baseball Tonight, presented by Granger, Jesse Rogers joins us as we take a deep dive into the Cardinals' slow start to this season. And Buster Olney jumps back in with storylines around the bigs. You're listening to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Moving day means that you and the things that matter to you are in for a big transition. There's a lot to figure out. New closets, different counter space, change of floor plan. No worries. CubeSmart is here, so you have a place for everything. It's our job to make self-storage as easy as possible. Online or in person, this is a self-storage experience that puts the focus on you because you matter to us. With self-storage that fits seamlessly into your life, you'll have plenty of peace of mind to unpack along the way. Click now to find a self-storage solution near you.
Saturday, May 20th from the Fight Capital, Las Vegas, Nevada. Undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney defends all 4 belts against former unified champion Vasily Lomachenko. Do not miss this fight. Haney-Loma, May 20th, undisputed on the line.
Take a break from high interest rate credit cards with a debt consolidation loan from Primeway Federal Credit Union. At Primeway, you'll find solutions to your financial problems. If you found yourself in debt for whatever reason, do not let those high interest rates keep you from taking a break. Consolidate all of your debt into one low monthly payment at Primeway. With a low introductory rate, you'll be able to break away from your debt and see a future when you're actually debt-free. Eliminate the stress of debt now. Lock in that rate today. How? Well, visit primewayfcu.com.
Hi, this is Earl Ron. I'm the president of New South Window Solutions. What I'd like people to understand about our company is what's unique about us. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. We go out of our way to make it easy. The most important thing that New South offers is very simple, absolutely true factory direct pricing. From our factory to our truck to your driveway. Most other window companies are either resellers, a wholesaler, a contractor, a distributor, a sales organization. We eliminate those levels of marketing, so you're paying true factory direct pricing. Please take the time to visit newsouthwindow.com.
Call now 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
Wake up, people. You're optimizing every waking hour of your life, from carpooling kids to work to friends and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Lowe's knows reliability is always in style. And during May, we're celebrating Maytag Month with the best savings of the season. Right now, save up to 30% on all Maytag major appliances. Plus, take an additional $200 off the purchase of any 3 major Maytag appliances, including laundry, ovens, and dishwashers. Get the best appliance deals of the season during Maytag Month. Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. See Lowe's.com for details. Additional $200 via mail-in rebate. Valid 5/6/5/31.
Hey, this is Bomani Jones. What's your favorite podcast? Let me tell you why that'll be number 2 after you listen to mine. 3 times a week, I'm going to challenge you to keep up with me as I discuss topics from the latest in technology and music, and people getting dunked on. Also, you'll get the very best analysis of the games, and we watch them with encyclopedic level historical connection. Plus, we have got a community of guests that you'll feel like are your closest friends in no time. Listen and subscribe to The Right Time with Bomani Jones Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
I'm telling you, when you watch Jamal Murray and Jokic run that two-man game, I don't know if I'd ever seen anybody who run a two-man game better than Draymond and Steph, because just the way they do it, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty close.
I think it's arguably better.
What?
Joker can score anywhere on the floor, and he's clearly the best passing big man ever.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The complete 30 for 30 library is exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Maya Moore stepping away from basketball to fight for justice.
My last name is Lee, Bruce Lee. Stream over 100 documentaries featuring the biggest names in sports, with titles including The Tuck Rule, Be Water, Lance, You Don't Know Bo, and more. The award-winning 30 for 30 library, streaming exclusively on ESPN Plus. Sign up now at ESPNplus.com or get the Disney bundle, including Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus to stream the best movies, shows, and sports.
Austin is not dogless.
They've lost their dog. There are missing signs all over, like Massachusetts. Dog missing. Call Brad Stevens if found.
Check out the Dominique Foxworth Show anywhere you get your podcast.
The verdict is in. The Guardians are back and better than ever.
I'm excited for you that you get to see this again.
Critics are saying it's triumphant.
Exactly, you idiots.
Oh, no.
Full of heart, humor, and action.
That is delightful.
And one of the best Marvel films ever.
Let's give the galaxy one more show.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. In theaters everywhere now.
Coming up Monday, we'll recap a pivotal weekend in the NBA, plus get you ready for the conference finals. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
The Women's College World Series.
Ready to raise a ruckus in Oklahoma City.
8 teams and a world of possibility.
They are picking up the bats. You don't get out of your seat. You don't blink.
Softball's best compete for the ultimate crown.
A championship is contested on the grandest stage in softball.
The NCAA Women's College World Series, presented by Capital One, begins June 1st on ESPN.
You're listening to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Basketball back on baseball tonight, taking you to first pitch for the Cardinals and Red Sox here on Sunday Night Baseball. The Cardinals have a losing record at the 40-game mark for the first time since 2007. That streak of 15 straight years with a 500 or better record through 40 games. The longest since Baltimore went 16 years without a losing record through 40 from 59 to 1974. The Cardinals' record is their worst through 40 games since 1980, when they also started 15-25. Let's bring in ESPN Major League Baseball reporter Jesse Rogers, who has a story on ESPN.com, which details some of the reasons behind the Cardinals' slow start this season. I encourage you to check it out, as the beginning of this campaign has certainly been uncharacteristic for St. Louis. Jesse now joins us. And Jesse, Let's start behind the plate. Wilson Contreras will start at catcher tomorrow night, but he was yanked from backstop duties recently, a month into a 5-year, near $88 million deal to replace Yadi Molina. What were the reasons behind that decision?
Pretty dramatic soap opera played out over the last week in a very public manner. I think it was a perfect storm of things that went on with this team and Wilson Contreras, who's coming to a new team, replacing Yadi Molina. I really think the pitch clock had a lot to do with this. And on top of it, you have a staff that really isn't performing at a high level, no matter who's behind the plate. And you have to remember, Wilson Contreras was signed as an offensive catcher. Some of these nuances that Yadi brought to the table, he doesn't really possess. So I think it was a weakness sort of thrown into another weakness, meaning the Cardinals staff. They didn't do anything, really anything in the offseason to improve, especially that rotation. And we end up with a situation where because of the clock, decision-making wasn't quick enough. Pitchers were having some issues getting the right pitch thrown. And yes, these days, a starting pitcher can call his own game. As I talked to Adam Wainwright earlier in the week, he wants input from his catcher. So I think they needed to pull him in their minds to sort of slow the whole thing down. It just looked like they were scapegoating him for all their problems. This rotation, this staff has its own issues.
Yeah, and as you dictate in the story on ESPN.com, the Cardinals don't have a single starter with an ERA under 4. Their collective team ERA among the starters is near 5.5. But there are some of those starting pitchers that have pelts on the wall, if you will. Do you think there's optimism that this, in short order, will turn around for them?
I think the phrase I'd use is cautious optimism. Okay. You are what you are, and we're almost 2 months in, and this starting staff is just slightly better now than it was a couple weeks ago. We'll see what happens when Wilson gets back behind the plate. But unless they can alter this starting staff, I think it's still going to have its struggles. It doesn't need to be, though, in the top 5 or anything. This is a division that's winnable with an average team, to be honest. And if their starting staff can just be average instead of really putrid, they have a shot still.
Do you suppose this awfully slow start to the season for the Cards up until the last 6 games is just kind of it was a perfect storm, if you will? Not only the Contreras scenario, not only the starters having issues, they were last in the league in winning percentage in one-run games, 11 blown saves. It kind of, from top to bottom, all kind of went downhill from the start.
Second-year manager, first-year pitching coach, brand new catcher, first time in 20 years they've had to change over in that position. Now add this, and some people might downplay it. I don't, though. I think it was 14 players within the franchise playing in the WBC. That team bonding, that team building, especially with that new catcher, didn't really take place in spring training. I was down there. Lars Nootbaar was already back in Japan, becoming a star there, and Wainwright was playing for Team USA. I really think all of that added up, but I also think the front office did not address enough of their pitching issues during the offseason. They certainly could have traded for Sean Murphy. They decided to sign Wilson Contreras, and they didn't really improve their starting staff. So I think it's a combination of things, but it is a long season, and again, they're in the right division.
I guess not enough at-bats for some of these outfielders. Their top prospect got off to a sizzling start, but he's back down in the minor leagues. What's the reason behind that?
Yeah, this just sort of adds to kind of the dysfunction that's going on. He had all this fanfare, mature enough to handle the moment, they told us. Had an okay start, but things can speed up on you when you're a 20-year-old rookie. I mean, he was one of the youngest rookies in Cardinals history to debut. So I think it, again, was just part of the dysfunction of spring training with everybody at the WBC. He stood out, and he stood out for a few moments during the regular season, but things caught up to him. And I think basically a 20-year-old to make it and stay up is actually the exception, not the rule. So this did not surprise me despite his talents and his skill set, which I think will play in the major leagues eventually.
So you've touched on this a few times here. This is an organization, number one, that's not accustomed to being in this position. They've had one losing season this century. They're accustomed to being at the top of the division, not in last place. But they've won 5 of 6, scored 3 times off the Red Sox in the 9th inning in back-to-back games. They have a little momentum going here, and the division, perhaps this is the year to get off to a slow start.
They have enough there to contend. I mean, they're not going to finish in last place. Let's just face it. They're going to pass Cincinnati. At least that's my opinion of this whole thing. It's just, can they really dig themselves out of this big hole to get to the top? And of course, even if you get to the top, you know, what are you going to do in October? They didn't do much last year because when you're sort of mediocre all year long, it's hard to really step on the gas and beat these elite teams. So there's a lot of question marks, but there's plenty of time. You're right. They've started to look a little bit better. I'll quote Paul DeYoung from my column there at ESPN.com. He said, maybe we were a little punch drunk when it came to the leadership Yadi and even Albert in his return brought. So I think they have to find a new path, and they're trying to do that as they're playing in the regular season, that's not always easy. And that's where I say all those guys at the WBC kind of thwarted their team building. And I think they're sort of doing it now, so to speak. You see how they've kind of rallied to Wilson Contreras' defense, even though they're the ones that kind of threw him under the bus in the first place.
That's an interesting perspective there. And also, the fact is, there's been a lot of little hurdles, a lot of challenges to get over. Characterize how Ali Marmol has handled that this season.
It's a little bit rough. It's been a little bit rocky. He took over a team that was pretty damn good. Most managers take over when the previous manager got fired because he didn't have enough wins. Well, Mike Schilt got fired for different reasons. So almost like Tony La Russa when he took over the White Sox a couple years ago, the bar was pretty high for Ali Marmol, and they reached it last year. Here's his first test, and I'd probably give him a C grade right now. Still early enough to recover, and there's a second semester that he can raise that grade. But right now, it's been a little wonky, and I spent 20 minutes in his office a week ago with him explaining this whole Wilson Contreras thing, and I left a little bit more confused than I was when I walked in. So, look, it's not his job necessarily to explain it to the public. It's his job to win games. So I'll judge him as the season evolves and where the Cardinals end up.
Yeah, check out again Jesse Rogers' story on ESPN.com on the Cardinals' uncharacteristic slow start to this season. Nolan Arenado, meantime, homered Friday night, again yesterday. Over his last 7 games at Fenway Park dating back to 2019, he's 11 for 29, 5 home runs, 9 runs knocked in. Let's bring back Buster Olney, Baseball Tonight analyst, host of the Baseball Tonight podcast. Buster, AL East, all above 500. O's in second place. Do you expect them there by season's end?
Well, I think they're going to compete all year for the playoff spot. We saw that in the second half last year. And let's hope ownership is willing to spend some money to try to augment the team at the deadline, unlike last year when they essentially declined to add anything. That team has so much talent. Starting today, Adley Rutschman with a .419 on base percentage. And what you hear all the time about him for people in that organization is his energy level from pitch to pitch as a hitter and as a pitcher is something like we just don't see. He's so invested in the pitchers. He's so invested in each of the plate appearances that he has, and he's already become a leader less than a year into the big leagues. It's pretty impressive.
And boy, does he get it done with that bat as well. Now, that's a positive. While the New York Mets below 500, their starting pitching is a mess. The lineup can't score. Is this fixable ultimately?
So here are some numbers on the Mets. They start the year with a team that's going to cost owner Steve Cohen over $400 million. They began the day 21st out of 30 teams in ERA. They began the day 24th out of 30 teams in runs scored. It is not going to plan. And given the structure of the team, look, they're going to have to get better pitching out of the veteran guys. They bet on these older pitchers on short-term deals when the year started, thinking that between Scherzer and Verlander, 2 future Hall of Famers, Carlos Carrasco, et cetera, that they would have an elite staff. That just hasn't happened. And it needs to, because their offense is not dynamic. If you go back to June 1st of 2022, since that date, the Atlanta Braves are 16 and a half games better than the Mets in the regular season standings. They've out-homered the Mets by about 50%. That is a huge issue for the Mets going forward. They need another thumper in the middle of that line.
Max Scherzer got the ball in the second game against the Nationals after being scratched from his most recent start. Is that a serious concern, his health moving forward?
It has to be. I remember the old line from Derek Jeter when he said, hey, if you're in your 20s and you don't play well for a while, then you're just in a slump. And if you don't play well after you're 30, then you're old. And that's just a simple fact, is that Max's struggles this year are going to be viewed through the prism of the fact that he's an older pitcher. Because as we know, Father Time is undefeated and older guys tend to break down more.
And as we look towards the West, the Dodgers came in to play 10 games above 500. They're getting right, while the Padres came into play 2 below 500, very similar to the New York Mets as a disappointment. What is wrong in San Diego?
It really feels like that they simply have just not put it together. There have been times we've seen some of the starting pitchers do well, but Juan Soto was struggling, Manny Machado's been struggling, and they're kind of drifting right now, which is why I think Joe Musgrove, after yesterday's game, spoke with some degree of frustration, some degree of impatience about